Hutchinson Blue Dragons with a big bounce-back win over Coffeyville. Stay at home this week as it gets set to take on the Dodge City Conquistadors Saturday at Gowan Stadium. Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Grunwald. Join me and the Eagle Radio Sports crew for kickoff at 12 noon right here on the station where Hutchinson comes for talk, news, and sports. KWBW Radio, home of the Hutchinson Blue Dragons.
Hutch CC Sports, brought to you by these Sportscaster Club members. Papa John's Pizza, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedics and Sports Medicine on BW Radio Sports. Plan your day with AccuWeather forecasts from KWBW Hutchinson, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM. It's 6 o'clock.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Salina, Kansas, Salina Stadium. It's time for the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Glenn Grunwald, your host, joined by Dan Nacarado as usual. And Coach Nack, here we are in Salina. Looks to be like it's a gorgeous day.
It's absolutely a great day for football.
It really is a great day for football, and here we are at, again, the second time we've been to this stadium. We were here last year, and the renovations they did, at least to the press box, are outstanding, and really enjoy coming up here now, where before we used to kind of be a hassle with it. Of course, we're spoiled with Gowan Stadium, and that's just, there's no way to get around it. You get spoiled with Gowan Stadium. Completely different than the setting we had last week at Derby, where we had two pane windows slid together, and both of them were dirty to start with. They were angles. You had glares coming off of the sunset behind us, and then the lights in the booth. And this one is a very, very well-thought-out press box. We appreciate the Salina USD, again, for Salina South and Central for putting this together at Salina Stadium.
Salina's always been a good stadium for players and coaches. I think last week during the Derby broadcast I mentioned one of the little things is when you're in the locker room, they have a scoreboard on the locker room wall so you can see exactly how much time is left before kickoff. You can see how much time is left before the start of the third quarter. And little things like that are very helpful. So it's always been a fun place to play, but maybe broadcast press box, not so much until this renovation was completed.
We were even talking about it the other day, telling Joe Blake how it was because of basically the big tarp that you have between the coaches and the broadcast position. A lot of times some words would go and get across and be put on the air that maybe shouldn't have been put on the air. Filming had to take place out in the bleachers where you fight the elements a lot, where here it's one nice big room at the end. Our filmer can have a choice of being outside or being right inside. We have plenty of room in the booth, so that's good to see. They've done a great job. And like I said, they just thought it through. The elevator, they just thought everything through when they did the renovations here.
Thank you very much to the Salina Public Schools. We appreciate this renovation. It certainly is more conducive to doing a fantastic broadcast, which our listeners deserve.
Yes, they do. And now, okay, let's look at this. 1-5 are the Salt Hawks. 1-5 are the Salina South Cougars. The only wins Cougars have is over at Campus. The only win that the Salt Hawks have is over Garden City. So both starting to look ahead to the playoffs a little bit. At least we are. And we kind of looked at some of those scores, very familiar scores when you look at the Derby score, the Mays score, even the Salina Central score, although that was 17-7. We feel like there's a couple games that got away from Hutchinson that could have been in the win column instead. There's just no doubt about it with turnovers, et cetera. So when you look at these two teams, something's got to give tonight. Both are 1-5.
Both teams very hungry for a win tonight. We've said many times throughout the season there's a lot more to high school sports than wins and losses. But when you're working so hard at something, when you pick up a win every now and then, it certainly makes it all seem more worthwhile. And you're exactly right, Glenn. On paper, these two teams appear to be almost a 50-50 proposition tonight. You look at the record, both 5-1. You look at the average scores. Hutchinson's average score has been 14.8 points a game for Hutchinson, 36 points against Hutchinson. You look at Salina South, 37 points against Salina South and It's about 17 points for Salina. Almost exact.
Mm-hmm. Just pretty close. So we'll see what's going to happen with that tonight. So, again, conditions good on the field, starting to become brisk with the fall. Might not be as cold as we had last week, but the football players, that doesn't matter to them. They're all warmed up and ready to go.
Perfect weather for football. You couldn't ask for anything better.
And no doubt about that. And we'll just have to see what's going to take place as the evening progresses, whether or not we'll have any wind situation or not. We'll check with Joe in a little bit regarding all that. Let's take a look at, first of all, the Cougar offense. They're led by a junior quarterback, Taryn Galloway.
He can be a guy that can create some problems for an opponent. He's a guy that has a pretty good arm, and he's got an excellent receiver to throw to. When you look at Salina South, you look at Ty Garrett, number 14, if you're in the stadium tonight. Ty Garrett is a 4-year starter, and this year already he has caught 44 passes for 512 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's a good one. So definitely Taryn Galloway will be looking for Ty Garrett frequently.
Garrett, number 14, for those looking. By the way, Taryn Galloway's number is number 7. His backup is Garrett as well. So Garrett comes from that wide receiver spot to the quarterback spot as a backup. So that's one of the things you're going to look at. Brant Cox is the running back. Where's number 26? He is a sophomore. He's a youngster out there, but he's played a big role in their running attack.
98 carries for Brant Cox so far this season, by far the leading ball carrier for the Cougars. So definitely keep an eye on him. So you want to, if you're the Salt Hawk defense, you want to be aware of the quarterback number 7, the running back number 26, and the wide receiver number 14, Ty Garrett.
Galloway has thrown some interceptions, so there's a possibility there that Hutchinson, the defensive secondary, could work its magic and get something done there. So what do they look like on defense to you, Dan?
Well, defensively, they have had a problem with giving up big plays to opponents. Lots of big plays where opponents score 60-yard, 70-yard touchdowns. So that's been the main problem with the Salina South defense this year in giving up those points. It's just they've come on a lot of big plays throughout the season.
They're both heavy, both junior and senior along that line, defensive line. When you look at their Will linebacker, their nose guard, as well as their Mike linebacker, those are all juniors and seniors. So a pretty could be a team up front defensively that has some experience with those seniors up front.
That's true. They do have people that have varsity game experience. Those guys, they've got some pride. They've got a lot invested in football. So you can bet they're going to come out strong tonight, looking to see if they can trip up the Salt Hawks.
We're going to take a quick timeout and come back and take a look at the Salina South Cougars schedule and how they've done this year. We mentioned that they only have 1 win. Same way with the Salt Hawks, only with 1 win. We'll be back with more right after this.
I love playing high school sports. I love the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. A referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium, and we're getting set for the pregame. We're in the pregame, getting set for the game between Salina South and the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. When you look at that schedule, Dan, they opened up with McPherson, and McPherson showed there's a real deal this year. If you look at that score, losing 29-17, you go, hey, South could have a good year this year, but not the case. They lost to Dodge City 45-7, in Game 2. They lost to Central in that Mayor Cup game that they have here, 17-7. And then got the win over Campus, 49-19. Lost to Derby, 55-7. Real similar score that Hutchinson had this last week. And then they lost to Mays just the other night as well, 51-7. So real similar, like you mentioned, in scores, as well as also, of course, the results with the two teams. I'm looking at Mays and Derby as a yardstick a little bit. Those two teams' scores very similar to what Salt Hawk losses were.
And again, the average points scored and the average points given up per game almost identical between the Cougars and the Salt Hawks. When we look at the Salina South scores this year, the two that really surprised me is how well they played McPherson that first game of the year, losing that one 29-17. And then it doesn't necessarily surprise me that Salina South defeated Campus, but the margin, 49-19, that was a decisive victory for Salina South over Campus on September 27.
Coach Sam Sellers is in his 10th year here at Salina South. He's 18th overall, but only 5 victories in the last 3 years. He is 6-28 since 2016. And that's where you got to start to get something happening, or negativity starts to set in. So we'll see what happens there. He's had 3 10-win seasons from 2012 to 14, and he's just going to try to avoid that third winless season here.
Well, it's a program that has rich history. If you look back, they've got some state championships. They won 5A state championship in 2000. Again, 2004. They made it to the state championship game in 2013, lost a heartbreaker, 27-26 to Blue Valley. But then after 2013, the program kind of went in a different direction, and they've had a hard time finding victories.
Our good friend, we call him Tall Pat because he's so doggone tall. The broadcaster for Salina South shared some information. According to Pat Stratham, looks at the storylines, the battle in the trenches. He thinks it's going to be a battle in the trenches. He talks about also Salina, where their youth was gone against them. They were so young, but now they're older, getting some experience out there. It's time for that to pay off, and also the offense has got to do something.
Right. Well, you mentioned the quarterback for Salina South, Taryn Galloway. He actually got moved up to varsity football when he was a freshman, which doesn't happen very often in a 5A or a 6A school. Unfortunately, he sustained an injury his freshman year and had to sit out quite a few games. But now Taryn Galloway is a junior, but it seems like he's older than a junior because of all that varsity experience.
I was talking to you when we had lunch the other day about looking at the different possibilities, looking down the stretch a little bit, since there is only one more home game. That is next week as Campus comes to town. Then we get straight into the playoff, is kind of taking a look and seeing just exactly where the Hutch High Salt Hawks might go. And there are several 5-1 teams on that west side. The east side has actually we have 3 undefeated teams on the west side in Derby, Lawrence High, and Dodge City. And we looked at some of those schedules on out. It looks like Dodge City could possibly be undefeated when it gets set for the postseason. Junction City's 5-1. Lawrence Free State is 5-1. Manhattan is 5-1, and Topeka is 5-1. Then you have Wichita East at 4-2. So any of those could fall into a possibility of where Hutchinson might have to travel to.
There are so many scenarios right now because who knows what will happen with Hutchinson tonight and next week. These are 2 very winnable games, but they're certainly not sure things by any stretch of the imagination. I would say tonight's game is a 50-50 proposition. Hutchinson should be favored next week against Campus. But then when you look at all those teams you just mentioned, Glenn, a lot of different things can happen with those records in the next 2 weeks, too, because some of those teams are playing each other.
Well, there's 2 1-5 teams, Hutchinson being one of those, and then Topeka Washburn Rural is 1-5. Right ahead of Hutchinson is Garden City, a team that Hutchinson's beat. So should we be able to get a win and Garden City does not win anymore, then we should be in pretty good shape. And, of course, it goes off that 13-point differential when you go to the tiebreakers to see where you should go. But as we know from last year, anything can happen because Hutchinson was heavy underdogs going up against Topeka High and just about pulled off the upset.
Turned out to be one of the most exciting games in the history of Salt Hawk football. It was one of those games that Hutchinson put up so many points early in the game, got off to a big lead at halftime, but then those athletes at Topeka High showed their, and they started storming back, and it really went down to the very, very end. And Topeka held on to win that game by 2 points.
But that was last year, and this is this year. So, of course, at our weekly lunch we just had with Coach Vernon on Wednesday, he looks at it easily could have been a couple more wins, and I think that's what, I mean, he really felt like we played pretty doggone well against Derby. Now, people listening might say, well, did you see the score? Yeah, but we held our own with them. They weren't, there wasn't a dominating Derby team. They're very, very good. There's no doubt about it, and they're very good offensively and in several other positions, but yet it wasn't just that total, just be such a shame that you got beat so bad type of thing, because they get some big yards, and all of a sudden we'd have a sack or loss of yards on them defensively. Our defense playing pretty good ball.
And the offense picked up 220 yards against a very impressive Derby defense. Problem, once again, was turnovers. Hutchinson turned the ball over 4 times at Derby, and when you turn the ball over that many times to a team the caliber of Derby, you're going to have a difficult night.
Coach Nacken are going to come back and wrap up with the third segment. We'll look at what's going to take for Hutchinson to win, what's it going to take for South to win. Also look at some changes, some big changes in the positions that Hutchinson has. We'll fill you in on all that and more when we return right after this.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Hutchinson Salthawk football pregame show. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado. We're in Salina at Salina Stadium. We're just minutes away from the kickoff, coming your way in just a little bit. And again, this is the next to the last regular season game, as we'll be back home next week against Campus to close out the regular portion of the schedule. Then we get set for the playoffs. But Dan, first of all, let's talk about some of the changes, and a lot of those from folks out there, especially in that offensive line.
It is a refurbished offensive line for tonight's game due to several injuries. Unfortunately, Tyler Robinson was injured, and his future for the rest of the year is in doubt right now. We wish Tyler Robinson well and hope that he recovers quickly. But the most glaring change will be the Hutchinson Salthawks have decided to move Jonathan Fan, the 300-pound right tackle. He will play center tonight for the first time. So it'll be Jonathan Fan at center. Caden Pennington, who's done a terrific job at center all season, he's going to move to left guard. Left guard, Chase Kepler, is going to move over to the right side and play right guard tonight. And at right tackle, Tajan James will slide into the right tackle position. So everybody's in a new position on the offensive line tonight, with the exception of Levi Allen. He's been at left tackle all year, and he'll be there again tonight. Levi Allen got a little bit banged up in the Derby game last week, but he is attempting to play through it. The tight end is also an important part of the offensive line in the Hutchinson offense. That's been Kyler Burnett all season. He's had some issues with injuries, but we expect him to return. He hasn't been able to practice very much of the week, but we expect that Kyler Burnett will be playing tight end tonight. On the good news, Braden Rogers, we thought he would be out for the season with an injury, and now it's a possibility that team captain Braden Rogers might return tonight in the backfield.
That's good news. And, of course, slots will stay the same. Dallas Chambers will be the quarterback. So everything the same there. Let's talk about what's going to take for the Salthawks to win this game tonight against Salina South.
Well, I hate to be redundant, but it's been so true that Hutchinson has to hang on to the football. Turnovers have cost Hutchinson several games. There's no doubt in our minds that Hutchinson would have 2 or 3 more wins had they been able to take care of the ball a little bit more securely. So that's number one. And anytime you have a new center, that gives you a little bit of concern, because I think you pointed it out last week at Derby.
Right before that turnover, yeah.
Exactly. You get a new center, and it's a new exchange between – it's a bigger deal in Hutchinson's offense because Hutchinson does not use the shotgun. And a team that goes out of the shotgun, it's more consistent how the ball comes back to the quarterback. But when you're up under center, it makes a big difference.
Now talk about a couple other things other than the turnovers. What does Hutch have to do to win the game?
Hutchinson wants to be physical. Hutchinson wants to have a physical presence. The offensive line, even though it's been refurbished with people in different positions, the offensive line has been a strength of Hutchinson all year. So what Coach Mike Vernon wants to see tonight is that offensive line blowing the defensive players a yard or two off the line of scrimmage. And if they can do that, Hutchinson will sustain drives, eat up clock, and Hutchinson will probably win the game.
Yeah, anxious to see what the new center position does, as well as also those left guard and right guard switches out there we're going to have. What about the third item that Hutchinson needs to do to win this ball game?
Third item is defensively. Hutchinson has got to stop number 14, Ty Garrett. He is an amazing athlete, a 4-year starter on that Salina South football team. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's fast. He's strong. Hutchinson has to stop number 14, Ty Garrett.
Pretty easy to save. We're already out of time now, Dan, so we'll get set for the opening kickoff and get that set and hear from Joe Blake on the sideline. Sarah Peterson will get set. You have one more thing to talk about?
Just one more quick thing. We want to send out our thoughts and prayers to Gabe I and his whole family. Gabe was injured in a freshman football game on Monday. A game that was a close game. Derby beat the Hutchinson freshmen by 2 points, but Gabe I sustained an injury in that game, and it's a pretty serious injury.
Yep.
We wish him well.
We sure do. We should have the video up good tonight because we have a better internet situation here at Salina where we're hardwired. So Sarah Peterson will have that right there on Salt Hawk Sports on YouTube.com. And so go to that or go to HutchPost.com. We'll have it right there. We'll check in with Joe on the sidelines as well. Thanks a lot, Dan. We'll appreciate it. We'll get settled in the booth and get set to go, okay?
Fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. The Salt Hawk pregame show.
That's going to wrap it up for this week. Join us next week for the pregame prior to the Salt Hawk kickoff at 6:30 p.m. again. So long, everybody. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Kickoff just around the corner.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned. And thanks again for listening.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you by First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, H&R Block, and the Medicine Shop. Salt Hawk Sports also brought to you by these Salt Hawk Boosters, Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services, Jackson Meat, Chick-fil-A, Wind Insurance Group, and I Need a Cleaners. Sideline reports are brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host, Glenn Grunwald.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Salina, Kansas. And we're at Salina Stadium. It is senior night tonight here at Salina Stadium. I'm joined by my partner in the booth. And what kind of night is it, Dan?
It's a great night for football.
It is a great night for football. We're going to really quickly here in just a second take another time out because they are getting set for the national anthem. We want to do honor and pay attention to that here in just a little bit. So we're going to send it back again for a quick 2-minute timeout, and then we'll come back and talk about a little football. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School on Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won. In Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hi, everybody. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. And now that we're going to have our national anthem, we will keep it here, and we'll just pick up the Salina Marching Band and their rendition of your national anthem. There's your national anthem from the marching band here at Salina South. And Dan, we were just starting to talk about this matchup tonight, and right as you ended the pre-recorded portion of our pregame show, you talked about Gabe I, and again, our hearts and prayers go out to that young man. A lot of information has came out since then. Matter of fact, there was a recent article in the Hutchinson News at detail about it, as well as also on Facebook. And also the GoFundMe page is on Hutch Post's Facebook. You can link right to it. And he's gone through a couple surgeries. Can't elaborate any more due to HIPAA rules with that. But his mother, Jessica, has reached out through Facebook to us, and just want to pass that information on. If you want to donate and help out with the GoFundMe page, please go to HutchPost.com. Look up the story about Gabe and Gabe I. Again, he's at Wichita Wesleyan, but they hope to be moved out of ICU here pretty quickly. But Dan, our hearts and prayers go out to that young man.
That's for sure. He's a fine young man, and we certainly wish him well. And we know that Mike and Jessica are going through a difficult ordeal, and they're handling it very gracefully. They really are.
We got on the sideline, we have Joe Blake, so we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Joe Blake, right now, sponsored by Brown Shoe Fit Company at just on East 30th, as well as Papa John's Pizza at 501 East 17th. 74-degree game time temperature, Joe, down there, and it should be only a low of 53. You should have a pretty nice night on the sidelines. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, it's a great night for football.
Now, say that with a little bit more emphasis,
It's
please.
a great night for
there
football.
There you go.
It's Salina, Kansas. Oh, yeah. And tonight, the wind from the south is going to play a pretty big factor. It's 2.
All right, sounds pretty good. So the wind will be a big factor, is what Joe's talking about. And the wind straight out of the south, and it will be a factor. And you posted something on Twitter today, Knack, that talked about 45-mile-an-hour gusts. And what does that mean in high school football in Kansas?
That means you must run the football.
And we'll see if both teams do run the football or not. So
certainly will affect the kicking game as well. Might affect the kicking game even more than anything else, but definitely affects the passing game, and Salina South tends to throw it more than Hutchinson does. So you would think that the strong wind would be an advantage for the Hutchinson Salthawks tonight.
Stuart Daddett is our chief engineer back at the VW studios tonight, so he'll be running the board back there. Glad to have him on board as well. We're just a few minutes away as both captains, all the captains from both Hutch High as well as Salina are coming out. Salina always throws me out with their colors of green and gold and got that S on the side. Looks like the Green Bay Packers out there in their dress-alikes to some extent. But they've had an up-and-down season as well, 1-5. Something's got to give tonight, Dan. Both teams coming in at 1-5.
Both teams are certainly hungry for a win tonight because, again, I keep saying there's a lot more to high school sports than wins and losses. But when you don't pick up a win, you feel like you worked really hard all week and then you didn't get a paycheck. It's kind of nice to collect some pay when you do a good job at work, and the same thing is true for athletes. When they work hard at practice all week, that win is their opportunity to collect. Good
barometer for me, for Coach Vernon, when he comes up after the game, when he's really quiet and solemn. He has a tough time due to the fact of because he feels like his team should have played better and maybe he could have won the ball game. Against Derby, he was calm and collected because he felt like they played pretty good, and just Derby was that much better of a team. So that's kind of a good barometer to take with Coach. There's 2 or 3 games we talk about him, Dan, that just got away from us because of turnovers. He knows it, and we know it, and the fans know it.
That's right. Got to hang on to the football because every time you turn it over, that's a scoring opportunity that you've given to the other team.
Joe talked about the wind situation down there, again, close to 45 miles an hour, at some time gusting up to. My weather app says right now 21 mile per hour straight out of the south, but that will get a little bit more. And the reason they moved this game up, because about 9 o'clock tonight, there's a 10% chance of precipitation. That was higher earlier on. It was close to 30%, but that's one reason they moved it up, to try to stay away from possible interference with lightning late in the contest. But right now, it is a clear sky. And, Joe, you look above you, you can see off to the west. That sun's starting to set a little bit. It'll hide in the showers very quickly before too long for our fans that are over there, and it should be easier to watch this ball game from the stands.
Yeah, it should be easier to watch this ball game from the east side of the stadium. But if you move towards the south, the stadium actually does block the sun. So
we'll see what happens. All righty, we're about set to get underway. Yeah, I can see a lot of the fans have moved their way down there. So we'll go down intermittently to Joe on the sideline. We appreciate his work. He is a senior at Hutch High, and we're so glad to have him along as well. So Hutchinson's out on the field getting set for the kickoff. What are we going to have, Knack, on the winning the toss? I was talking to Joe.
Hutchinson won the toss and deferred, and it's a tough call when the wind is this strong, whether you take the ball or whether you take the wind. And Salina South, after Hutchinson deferred, elected to receive. And we have a new kicker. He's been kicking extra points the last couple of games, came from the soccer team. We've got Carter Boo teeing the ball up to kick it off tonight.
Yep.
One other quick thing to clean up from the pregame, we were hoping that Braden Rogers might be able to play tonight. He's a captain for the Salthawks in that backfield. He is not able to suit up tonight, recovering from injury.
All right, here we get set. Carter Boo gets set to kick it off. The left foot is into it, and we are underway to play football tonight. Ball squibs down to all the way to the right at the 9-yard line, taken and brought upfield and dropped at about the 19. Fumble on the play. Looks like there's a scrum down at about the 22, and let's see who has it. Hutch player says they have it. They do. A turnover already against Salina South. Quickly, a quick turnover. And Salina South coughed up the football, and it will be Salthawk football. They're going to mark that directly right at about the 23-yard line. So a quick turnover going the other way this time, Knack.
I couldn't tell for sure. I think it might have been Anthony Blackwell that recovered that loose ball.
The ball was stripped out of the return man
And we'll see who that was a little bit later on. But it will be Hutchinson football, 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line of South. So there you take the wind, you kick off, and then you have the quick South turnover. And Dallas Chambers leads his team up to the line of scrimmage. Just underway in Salina. Glad to have you along this evening. The turn and a give quickly. Quick opener across to Alec McEwen carries it around that right side, right up through the hole, and picks up positive yardage down to about the 21-yard line.
Hutchinson could not have asked for a better start to this football game because they won the toss and deferred. Salina South wanted to receive, so Hutchinson kicked off, but they've recovered the ball. They're deep in Salina South territory with the wind at their back.
DeVal back there at the fullback slot. McEwen on the left slot. Here's a give up the middle. Whistle stops play. DeVal kept it across the 19 down to about the 18-yard line. But let's see what the whistle's about. Flag laying aimlessly at the 16 on the far side.
This should be an illegal procedure penalty.
All righty. Joe Blake reporting illegal procedure, and that's the way Hutchinson is walking right now, so they'll back it up. We'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 situation for Hutch.
Hutchinson quarterback Dallas Chambers gets quite a workout every football game. Earlier in the year, he was just taking signals from Coach Vernon on the sideline, but the last couple of games, he actually sprints over to the sideline to listen to Coach Vernon's call.
We asked Coach about that. He says he just wants to make sure he's getting it right. So 2nd down and 9 from the 22 now. Man of motions, McEwen. He gives the ball straight up the middle across the 15. Bladders his way down to about the 16-yard line. So a nice pickup right there was 2nd down and 9. Let's see what he made it. Moved it across to the 16. So they'll move it down to be 3rd down and 4. Ball on the 17.
Hutchinson doesn't pick up this 3rd down conversion. We might see Carter Boo in for a field goal attempt. He has a good leg.
Yeah, Newquist splits down on the left side in the wide receiver slot. Dallas Chambers sends a man in motion. Turn to get the Cantu up the middle. He's free at about the 10-yard line. And still on his feet, down inside the 10, down to about the 8. So Cantu had just checked into the ball game, and Damon Cantu took it all the way down close to the 8-yard line. Should be a 1st and goal situation.
That Salt Hawk offensive line opened up a big hole. Cantu ran through it quickly, and that takes the decision-making out of the equation. Coach Vernon doesn't have to decide on whether to kick a field goal or not at this point.
1st and goal from the 9. Hutchinson moved inside of, again, South territory due to the turnover. Dallas Chambers, the turn to give to DeVal. DeVal right up the middle across the 5, and he stopped there. Short right around the 4-yard line where the walk and spot it. And it will be a 2nd down and goal from the 4.
This area is where those yards get a little bit tougher because the defense is compacted. They don't have as much territory to cover. They put more men up towards the line of scrimmage.
Solon's with that flex bone offense. Breaks huddle, ball on the right hash. Chambers, the quarterback, Cantu. Behind him in the fullback slot. Barlow over in the right slot. McEwen on the left slot. The turn, the give straight away, running straight up the middle. Trying to get into the end zone. Cantu close to it, all the way down, and they'll say they'll mark it right at the 1.
So close. Impressive offensive line surge.
Cantu will check back out. Here comes DeVal into the ball game. DeVal's been a really good surprise last couple of weeks. Runs very hard, hits the hole hard and fast. That's what I like. And we'll see what happens if he gets the call here or not. 3rd down and goal for the Salt Hawks. Chambers, the turn to give to DeVal straight up the middle. Looks like a touchdown from this angle. No sign as of yet.
I think that. I think a Salina South Cougar jumped into the neutral zone.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Joe's cutting out a little bit on the sidelines. We'll try to get him in a proper position. And it will be on Austin on defense. He's correct on the call.
When the offense is inside the 1-yard line, there's no reason for the defense not to gamble and try to anticipate the snap count. If they jump offside, it's about a 10-inch penalty.
9:07 to go in the first quarter of play. Hutchinson down at the 1, or less than a 1, actually. Hutchinson breaks the huddle. Chambers with the snap count to give. Straight away running in there for the touchdown. Salthawks with the touchdown. Looked like the ball took it straight up the middle. And the ball did score it from 1 yard out with 9:05 to go. So first score to the Salthawks tonight at the 9:05 mark. The ball with a 1 yard run.
It was the wedge play. That offensive line did a good job of just getting a little bit of movement on the defense, enough to score the touchdown.
2 minutes and 55 seconds off the turnover. That's the South Cougars coughed it up. Here's the hold. The kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good. And your score with 9:05 to go in quarter number 1. Salthawks on top. They lead at 7-0. We'll be back with more in the Salthawk kickoff coming away from Salina Stadium, that is, right after this timeout on the Salthawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Well, Hutchinson takes it in on a third and goal from the 1 yard. The ball scores it with 9:05 to go in the first quarter of play. Hutchinson will now kick off. And Joe, pretty easy going right there. Just took it right down after the turnover and punched it into the end zone.
Oh, yeah, and right behind that offensive line, which has been switched up a little bit this week, but it seemed to be no problem on the Salthawks first series.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that too much. Thank you for bringing that up. You bet. Good blocking up there on that right side particularly. And again, we kind of move things around. Jonathan Fan is the center. Number 64 out there. His right guard is Chase Kepler. And on the left side is Caden Pennington. They went right over Pennington and Fan. Here's the kick. It's going to be taken at the 9, slips down a little bit, touches the ground, but he's off to the races, bringing it up forward, and all the way down to about the 26-yard line. Good return right there by, again, that return by South coming up and bringing it up the football field was Brant Cox. So we'll set up now, and with the football will be South. So their first pure possession, because they coughed it up, Knack, with that turnover, which turned into a Salthawk touchdown.
Great start for Hutchinson tonight.
So Salina South to go with a straight formation I, and quarterback turns, gives it straight up the middle, and good defense by the Salthawks. They snub it out, stopping after only about a 2-yard gain, and Cox was the ball carrier.
Jack Hover and Isaiah Phillips made the tackle.
Hover comes in, as you just indicated, did a good job defensively there on the stop. So Taryn Galloway is the quarterback, a senior. He's a junior. He's again, where's number 7? Give on the outside on second down. And Garrett, he's the one you talked about,
Dan. Right. Ty Garrett, he's a good player. Ty Garrett, this 6'3", 200-pound senior, he has 1,084 yards receiving this year. Excuse me, he has 512 yards receiving of the 1,048 passing yards of Salina South.
Third down and 9 for South. Galloway, the quarterback, back to pass, shows it on the right side. Ball is incomplete. They'll indicate that it hit the ground. 2 different receivers going after it. It might have been a little confusing on that Salina South side. Ty Garrett thought he could get to it. And it ends up being incomplete, as also out there was Varela.
Ty Garrett with 44 catches for 512 yards. They'll try to get the ball to him frequently, but that Salthawk defense did their job. Selden Jones did a really nice job on that series.
And guess what? Punt time now for South. At 4th down and 9, they got to punt the football away. They'll be punting into that brisk 24-mile-an-hour wind. And that snap goes all the way back to the end zone, and out of the end zone it'll be a safety. And the Salthawks are on the board again, this time leading it 9-0 with 7:46 to go. So the bad snap by South led to 2 on the board for the Salthawks. So everything that could go wrong for South has gone wrong for Salina South, Dan.
What a fantastic start for the Hutchinson Salthawks. On the way up here, we talked about the fact that wind not only affects kicks, passes, it also affects long snaps. And that time he was actually snapping it with the wind. because the team was going against the wind. That means the long snapper was actually snapping it with that wind. Got a little bit too much oomph on it, and it went clear through the back of the end zone.
The yard line was the 27, which makes no difference to the degree. It just doesn't matter that it was a bad snap, went all the way through the end zone, automatic safety.
37-yard snap.
Yes, exactly, is what it ends up being. So, Salina South will kick the football off. They'll tee it up at the 20, and Hutchinson will get the possession again.
Wouldn't think he'd be able to kick it too far into this wind either, so Hutchinson should
I'm sure he's going to squib
position.
It. More than likely, he's going to squib it. Rincon is the kicker and sails it down the field. It's between two Salthawks, picked up by McEwen, trying to return it. He is at the 35, up to the 40, cuts back up, backs his way all the way to the, and now a head of steam takes him all the way to the 48-yard line. He was just about to be stacked up at about the 44, and all of a sudden, a big surge, and he was pedaling backwards, pulling the whole pile with him, and they'll mark it right at the 48.
Alec McEwen showing some impressive determination. He just did not want to be tackled.
South Cougar shaken up at about the 38-yard line, gets up under his own power, and he's looks like he's going to be okay, and he'll return to his sidelines. That's going to be Pettinger, and it looks like he's going to be okay. So Hutchinson will have the football at their own 48. Impressed with McEwen's return ability there. After they came up and gang tackled him, he just moved the whole pile to the north all the way to the 48.
And it was a slow developing return because, as you said, Glenn, the ball bounced between two Salthawk receivers, and it took a little bit of time for the return to get started.
Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson on his stream, which you can watch on Salthawk Sports at YouTube.com. Joe Blake on the sidelines. Down under center, Chambers, turn, give, right up the middle to the ball. Tell you what, every time he carries it, he gets 3 or 4 hard-fought yards, and that's the situation right there. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yards after contact. That's a good indicator of how much of a competitor that ball carrier is.
Joe, I don't know if you can see it from the sidelines, and the ball checks out now, but he hits that hole so doggone quick and hard.
Yeah, and the main thing with Delval is he always falls forward. That's the biggest thing in gaining extra yards after contact.
You bet. He always seems to get extra yards like you just indicated. Again, Joe Blake's sidelines brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as, again, Papa John's Pizza. The keep by Chambers on the left side. Finds a little bit of a seam, squeaks through there, and gets down to about the 49-yard line of South. So that's where they're going to mark it. Short of the first down, and Dan, a pretty big 3rd down and 2, a long 2, we'll call it, from the 48.
The way that Salthawk offensive line is firing off the ball, 2 yards should not be a problem for them to pick up.
Jonathan Pham, the junior, 300-pounder, moved over from the right tackle. Chambers turns, gives it the ball. Big hole open, 1st down to the 40. He'll be wrapped up right there, but he's got the 1st down by 3 yards.
Salthawks are looking good tonight. It's a huge crowd here at Salina. It is senior night, and it wasn't only the 18 seniors on the Salina South football team that were recognized. All of the seniors that are engaged in band or volleyball or cross country, any activities, all of them were recognized tonight, and you can tell it brought a lot of people to the stadium.
1st and 10 Salthawks on the Cougar 40-yard line. Chambers spreads them out. Spends a wide out to the left side in Newquist. Sends a man in motion to McEwen. He gives a straightaway run to Cantu, and Cantu carries it up forward.
A little bit of a trickery there.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually the option, but
Chambers kept it around that right side, but that's how good it was. I was looking right at him. I could have swore he handed it off, picks up about 4 yards. And Joe, you have a better look at that from the sidelines. It's pretty good little magic play right there by Dallas Chambers.
Oh, yeah. The backs and Dallas Chambers especially do a great job of making sure that fake goes smoothly, whether he needs to pull it or keep it. You never really know where it is.
Did a nice job there. Joe's sidelines reports again brought to you by, there's a give to Barlow. Barlow with a quick opener all the way down to the 30. He falls forward. It's going to be really close to the 1st down. I think he's going to be short, though, where his knee hit. So we'll double-check the actual markage. They'll mark it at the 31, and he needs about a half yard more for the 1st down. nice pickup of about 5. Third down and less than a yard.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the same play that Hutchinson scored the touchdown on, that wedge play to the fullback.
Newquist splits wide left. McEwen in the L slot. Cantu in there, set up in a fullback spot. Sends McEwen in motion. Give to Cantu, straight up the middle. He has the first down and more. Forward progress marked at about the 27-yard line. So Hutchinson methodically picking up 5 yards on the carry. Whatever is needed to get the first down, it'll move the chains, and it's another Salt Hawk first down.
Exactly what Hutchinson wanted to do offensively. And let's not forget about that defense. They've only been on the field one time, and they forced a 3-and-out.
Split out a wide receiver left side again to Newquist. Dallas Chambers going the distance at quarterback. Jonathan Fan leads them up to the line of scrimmage. Chambers the quarterback. The turn to give to McEwen. McEwen on the right side. And a whole host of Cougars came after him, and he might have got a face mask. Let's see the call. As McEwen goes, maybe picked up about, maybe a loss of about a yard on the play. Let's check the call. Comes from where? Oh, it's going against the Salt Hawks. So I thought it was going to be maybe a face mask, but it will be a go against the Salt Hawks. It will be a hold. And they caught one of the Salt Hawks on the hold. So that'll be a 10-yarder. That'll back it way up, way back. And it'll set up another first down call.
The hold must have occurred behind the line of scrimmage, because look how far they...
All the way to the 38. So a second down and 21 on the 38-yard line. All right, Hutchinson's been moving the football. Pitch on the outside. Give it around to McEwen. Gets a block from Barlow. Has some room. Gets back to past the original line of scrimmage all the way back inside the 25. They'll mark it at around the 20, right at the 25-yard line. So there's a big hunk of it back.
Hutchinson ran the option play to perfection. Good read by Dallas Chambers. He decided to pull it from the fullback and then pitched it to McEwen, who picked up about, 13 yards on that play?
Second down, check that, third down and 8.
Remember, penalty was
that's
first
right,
down.
Second down and 8. The board is wrong. Second down and 8 from the 25. Chambers, the quarterback for Hutchinson. Hutch leads at 7-0 with 3:56 to go in this quarter. Turn right side, again trying to churn it down to about the 20. With success there, does not move the chain.
Levi Allen, Caden Pennington, Jonathan Fan, Chase Kepler, Pagan James, and Kyler Burnett. Oh my goodness, that offensive line. They are just driving people off the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 4 from the 21. 3rd and 4 from the 21. Might be in no man's land, or we might see a Carter Boo field goal try if they're not successful here. I'm betting on the team in white being able to move it. Give straight up the middle. Duvall, second effort all the way in, and he's going to walk it into touchdown from 21 yards out. A lot of people thought he was stopped. He just kept going and takes it into the end zone. Joe, what a play. Just like a quick opener. Once he got past the line of scrimmage, nobody was there.
Yeah, and he was stopped, and he just moved to the side, and there he was. He was gone.
A 21-yard scamper and go straight up the middle by Duvall. His 4th touchdown of the year. So now they'll try to point after. It's 15-0 Hutchinson. Key third down play right there. 3rd and 4. Here's the point after. It is up and it is good. And with 3:17 to go in the first quarter of play, Hutchinson with the lead. Hutchinson leads it by the score of 16-0. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from Salina Stadium in Salina, Kansas. Your score 16-0. Hutchinson on top. We'll be back with more on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started, or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, the Salt Hawks lead at 16-0. They scored off a turnover. They scored off basically another turnover, which was a safety, and then they took it right down the field, overcame a holding penalty, and a 21-yard gallop by the ball into the end zone, straight up the middle with 3:17 to go in this first quarter of play, leading at 16-0. I'm excited, Dan, because we have not been able to say that a whole lot of times this season. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken at the 10, fumbled a little bit, picked up at the 8, and now the returner comes straight up the field, and he'll be dropped short of the 20-yard line. He rolls forward to about the 20. And a nice return again, back up there by Brent Cox. So he brings it back up, but he fumbled the ball back at about the 8-yard line. Sometimes that ends up where the defensive players come to the field, kind of give up a little bit. Joe, he fumbled around, finally got it picked up, and took it straight up the middle.
Yeah, tried to catch that ball with his hands above his head, and wasn't not a very good strategy there as he ended up putting the ball on the turf, but was able to come up with it, and Seahawks were there to close pretty quickly as he just crossed the 20.
He did not turn it over, and that's the key right there. So Salina South will set up again. Again, Galloway, the quarterback, gives it to Brandt. Brandt with some openings across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line. A good effort right there by the Salthawks to get him corralled.
Salina South has struggled to successfully run the football this season, and that was certainly the first play where they picked up some positive offensive yardage this game.
We'll say it's officially the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 3. So positive yardage right there. Galloway, low snap. Gives it off to Brandt around the left side. He's going to try to get some room. He's got the edge. He'll be shuffled out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. So he got that corner turn and picks up the first down.
Devin Hackney made the tackle. Devin Hackney made 11 tackles last week against Derby. That young man is finding the football. It's a good thing he made the tackle that time, or it could have been a long, long touchdown scamper.
Yeah, he picked up 18. The ball right at the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Salina South Cougars. Back to pass. Cougars hand it off. A delayed draw right there. It's going to be snuffed out quickly by the Salthawk defense. And Brandt had nowhere to go. They'll mark it at about the 43-yard line, so loss of 2 on the play.
Salthawk defense definitely wants to get a stop here while the wind is still at the Salthawks' back.
2:11 and counting. Hutchinson leading at 16-0.
Like to force Salina South to punt it into that stiff wind.
And Galloway, the quarterback, back in the shotgun. Turns, throws it on the outside to Sling. The catch is made on the outer perimeter, and falling forward, nothing much there. Little or no yards picked up. The catch was made by Ty Garrett.
Devin Hackney coming over to make the stop again. That young man is starting to make a name for himself.
They'll mark it right at the 48-yard line, so this will bring up a 3rd down and 7 call. Gain of 5 on the play on the throw and catch to Ty Garrett. He's his primarily receiver. Galloway, quarterback, back to pass as Galloway steps up, throws it on the outside. Catch is made. 1st down markers right there into Salthawk territory, forward to about the 38-yard line.
Good protection by the Salina South offensive line. Gave plenty of time for them to find the open receiver.
And that open receiver was Jace Varela. Varela just did a little hook pattern over there.
And Galloway didn't let that wind bother him a bit on that throw.
1st and 10 for South. They're moving the football now inside the Salthawk territory for the first time tonight at the 38. They trail at 16-0. Back to a little delayed draw, and again getting away and picking up positive yardage. Good for the first down all the way down to the 24-yard line. Again is Brent Cox.
Wouldn't be a bad idea for Hutchinson to take a timeout here.
Regroup a little bit.
Regrouped on defense.
So they've moved that. They're taking off yardage on big chunks right here. South moving it all the way to the 18. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 18. We're inside of a minute here in the first quarter of play. Salthawks defensively get set up. Here's Galloway. They come in a blitz. And they miss it again. Cox just bounces off the defenders and carries it forward for 10 yards. And over the chains again, down inside the 8. 1st and goal from the 8 for South.
Good run by Brant Cox, bouncing off of Hutchinson tacklers.
Also bounced off a couple of his own men right there. Yes. Just spun away and picked up positive yardage. Needed 10, got 11.
Impressive the way Salina South did not just roll over and give up in this game. They're fighting back.
Well, they felt like they got regrouped a little bit. There's a give again to Cox. Cox into the end zone. Walks it in from 8 yards out. Salina South with the score with 24 seconds remaining to go in the first quarter of play. So Cox took it in on a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Clock showing 24 seconds remaining to go in quarter 1. So the point after attempt will come, and these are going to be very important, especially going into that win. They'll mark the ball. The hold, the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So your score with 24 seconds remaining to go in the quarter number 1. It will be Hutchinson 16, the Cougars of South 7. We'll be back with more from Salina right after you hear this on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, we're just having a discussion up here whether or not they should have went for 2 possibly. They're going into the wind. I don't know. The end result is a point, and maybe get them while you can, huh, Dan?
I'm a little bit more aggressive. I think I would have gone ahead and chased that 2 points.
Chase that 2-point loss that they had with the safety.
Get it to within 1 score and a 2-point conversion.
Here comes the opening kick from the Cougars. It's going to hit right at 10. McEwen picks it up. He's across the 15. Tries to angle to his left side. Now he turns it upfield. Tries to knife in between 2 players. It carries him all the way to the 29. That is a nice return all the way up to the 29 for McEwen. Nice to see that return right there.
The reason I say go for 2, Salina South has not had very much success putting a lot of points on the board this season. Touchdowns have really been tough for this team. So if you're down 16, I think I'd go ahead and take a gamble on scoring twice.
You couldn't even get Joe Blake to gamble at supper time tonight with the Longhorns of KU. What are you talking about? Offering him $2 for his $1? What are you doing? All right, here's the keeper by the Salt Hawks, and the ball just keeps rolling right along. Needed 10 and got 10 out of it. How about that? Depends on the spot of whether or not they got the first down or not. Let's see where they mark it, and it will be. They say it is a 1st and 10. So it's from the 39. Nice run by the ball.
That'll run out the first quarter.
Sure will. That'll run out the first quarter. Your score at the end of 1 quarter of play, it is Hutchinson leading South by the score of 16-7. We'll be back with more coming your way in the second quarter of the play right after this timeout on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Welcome back again. So glad to have you along. 16-7. Hutchinson with the lead. Now Hutchinson with the football. Nice carry by the ball to get them the first down. And so far, both teams doing about what I expected them to do. Now, it's going to be interesting with the change and facing the wind now. Hutchinson's a running team. Shouldn't affect them too much.
Doesn't affect an option team that runs the flex bone, or as you and I like to call it, the veer. It could possibly affect a pitch if it's really, really blowing hard. But by and large, a team that likes to run the football, the wind doesn't bother them near as much as a team that likes to throw it.
Salt Hawk football on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. All right, Salt Hawks break huddle. They'll split a wide out and Newquist to the right side. They'll split a wide out on the left side as well. So let's see what the Salt Hawks come up with. Chambers gives it off to McEwen. McEwen trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and he'll be close. Maybe lost a yard on the play. We'll double check it. So it's the first time that one's been held to negative yardage.
Really well defended by Salina South.
Actually, that was Barlow on the carry. Pardon me. And Shinju Kam made the stop. Came up and got the stop made. And we're going to pick up some stats here in just a second and start to refer to those in a second when we get the opportunity. Chambers sends the man in motion. Give it up the middle and little or no gain, maybe a pickup of a couple. So all of a sudden some adjustments have been made by South, and they're putting Hutchinson in a third down and 7 situation.
In that first quarter, the Hutchinson Salthawks picked up 101 yards on 16 plays compared to only 52 yards on 12 plays by Salina South. Isaiah Duvall picked up 54 yards all on the ground.
So again, wideouts left and right for the Salthawks. Third down, you would say maybe a passing situation, but Hutchinson's had so much luck on the ground. The turn, give away, quick opener to ball, churning, nothing there. He got it up to about the 46-yard line, maybe to 47. Fourth down and short now facing Hutchinson.
Look for Hutchinson to go for it.
What do you think, Joe?
3 yards, 2 yards?
Yeah, I do think that 3 or 4 yard gain did put us in 4-down territory, and we are going to go for this.
Fourth down and a long 2 is what the board says. Looks like it's closer to 4th and 3. They got to get to the 49.
Look for Isaiah Duvall again.
See if Duvall carries it.
Might start off by trying to pull the Cougars off sides.
Man in motion. That's exactly what to try to do. McEwen back to where he was. And now they'll call the timeout with 10:03 to go in the quarter, and they're going to talk things over. So you're dead on right there, Coach Knack, as they tried to pull him offside, was not able to. And let's see as Hutchinson decides to punt the football. We're going to keep it here during the timeout. 16-7, Hutchinson with the lead. And nice, if you just joined us, by the way, you might have just joined us because of the fact they started this game at 6:30 p.m. If word didn't get out. And you didn't know, you maybe thought we were doing our pregame show, but they did the kickoff at 6:30. Hutchinson forced a quick turnover on the ensuing kickoff and then took it into the end zone from 1 yard out to lead 7-0. Hutchinson then stopped South from getting a first down, and on the snap on 4th down, it sailed through the end zone for a touchback, and Hutch led it by the score of 9-0. And Hutchinson got on the board to make it 16-0. South just scored at the end of the first quarter of play to make it 16-7. Hutchinson, that's where your scoring catch-up is right there. Hutch has talked it over. They're going to come out, and I still think they're going to go for it.
We have not seen Rocket toss yet. It's 10:03 to go in the second quarter. Hutchinson has not yet run the rocket toss play to McEwen. That's what I'm expecting.
All right, so let's see if Dan's right or not. Barlow set on that left slot. McEwen on the right this time. Here they give it straight up the middle. Care for the ball. He's got the first down.
Well, that worked even better. They needed 3, and they got 4 or 5.
Duvall straight up the middle across the 50 to the 49-yard line. And, Joe, you talked about it earlier on one of his carries. He just hits the hole off the ball. At least I say he hits the hole so quick that the defense just can't adjust to him.
Exactly, you're exactly right. He stole really quick. And then, like I said, he falls forward, and that's key. He was on a 4th and 2 situation, and he moved the chains.
Yep, it's important. He moves the chains right there. I think you're going to have to move a little bit there, Joe, because they're not very good reception that we're getting from you there. So a carry on first down and positive yardage again for the Salthawks. Duvall gets another carry and carries it up to about the 44-yard line. So again, a 5 on that play, Dan, and I'll take 2nd down and 5, 2nd down and 4 anytime.
Exactly what this offense is designed to do. Just keep grinding it out, moving the chains.
Chambers down under center, which is fan tonight. They did some switching around to give and a keep on the ground, nothing there. And that was Chambers. And maybe got a half a yard out of it. We'll say 3rd down and 5. So big 3rd down facing the Salthawks again, taking plenty of time off the clock. 8:46, clock moving away. Some games were played last night. Buhler with a tough loss to Hayes. Buhler led at halftime 7-3, and the Hayes Indians put 2 on the board in the second half of Kimway winner, 17-7.
That was a shocker.
It really was. So Buhler with their second loss of the season. I think Hayes is 4-3, something like that.
Mays beat Salina Central right here at Salina last night.
Fairly close game by May standards. Drive up the middle, short of the first down by about a yard. Mark it right at the 40. This time it was Cantu, the ball carrier.
Both Salina Central and Salina South share the same stadium, so both of them were scheduled to have home games this week. Therefore, one of them had to play it on Thursday.
They've shared the stadium for many, many years. The renovation that they did a couple years ago to the press box is just absolutely excellent. We used to dread coming here. Really, truly enjoy it. You used to have a tarp that separated you from several loud voices in the booth next to you.
This is far better.
Oh, it's lots better. We have our own little location. Chambers to give straight up the middle. First down carry by the ball, and more ball's loose on the turf, though. See who got to it. And I think the Salt Hawks kept it going, and they'll move the chain. So the ball fumbled up, but he fumbled it forward for positive yardage to about the 31, 32-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the South 32 for Hutchinson.
He definitely did not do that on purpose because he'd already picked up the first down when the ball came out.
So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 now on the 32 for Hutchinson. Big third down carry by Duvall. He is keen to play tonight. We'll check over some first quarter stats here in just a little bit and see who our leading rushes are. Hutchinson up over center. Chambers, the quarterback, gives it off, trying to pop outside is McEwen, and he can't get there. Loses yardage on the play, a loss of 3. Sometimes you can circle back a little bit and maybe make up the ground. Maybe should have made that decision a little bit quicker as he was dropped for a loss of 3.
Good tackle by Drew Baird. He went down and just wrapped him up around the ankles. In that first quarter, Isaiah Duvall, 54 yards on 8 carries. Alec McEwen, 19 yards on 2 carries. Damon Cantu, 15 yards on 3 carries. Very efficient Salt Hawk running game.
So Salt Hawk facing a 2nd down and 13. Newquist, wide left. Hutchin that flex bone formation, and a timeout's going to be taken. Coach Vernon wants to talk things over. That gives us a chance to talk things over. Back at the VW studios, 16-7. Hutchinson with the lead over the South Cougars. 6:28 to go in quarter number 1. Coach Knack and I'll be back along with Sarah and Joe right after this.
Swimming pool season is coming to an end, and that makes us sad at Pools Plus. To keep the party going, we have extended the sale on all outdoor furniture. Take advantage of the huge savings on all the fun, bright-colored chairs, tables, and benches. Strong enough to withstand the Kansas weather and pretty enough to add some extra pop in your outdoor decor. Come see what Pools Plus has to offer. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
6:28 remaining to go in this second quarter of play. We're in the first half of play. Second quarter, 6:28 to go. Hutch leading 16-7 over Salina South High School. Salina South in their green jerseys, yellow pants, yellow helmets, look like the Green Bay Packers. Salt Hawks with the Power H Hawk on the side of their blue helmets. White jerseys and black pants tonight. Look pretty sharp.
Hutchinson's controlled the football this entire second quarter.
Newquist wide left. Turn. Wants to throw it. He's going to air it out on the left side. Has a receiver out there. Catch is made! Out of bounds at the 20. 1st and 10, Hutch.
What a catch. Was that McEwen that went?
McEwen in motion came around and caught that football over there. Joe, it happened right in front of you. Great catch by McEwen.
It was a great catch and an even better throw by Dallas Chambers. He hit him on the run in stride, and the defender wasn't able to turn his head around, and McEwen was just able to make the play.
Defender was right there, stride for stride with McEwen, but McEwen, he was just not going to be denied.
Yeah, it looked like man coverage. I actually think it was zone, but a good job right there by McEwen on the catch. So 1st and 10 from the 19 of the South for Hutchinson. Cantu in the backfield. Turn to give to Cantu, trying to bust his way forward down to about the 15-yard line. Picks up 4 on positive yardage carry.
This game is following the script that the Hutchinson Salt Hawks have wanted to put forth every game. They're controlling the football. They're driving it workmanlike down the field. They're eating up clock. and they're dominating this football game.
Clock at the 5:58 mark. Moving along here in the second quarter of play. Newquist comes in, moves to the right side, wide out right. Chambers up under center. Gets set for the snap from Pham. Has the ball in the backfield at the fullback spot. The turn this time is going to be given off to Barlow, and Barlow busts forward, short of the first down, however. One tackle on that left side. Picked up maybe 2.
Salthawks put an extra man on the right side of the formation, faked to the fullback going right, and then handed it to Barlow on the counter play going back to the weak side. Actually a very well-designed scheme, and Barlow almost broke it.
Ball on the 12, 3rd down and 3. Have to get to the 9 for a first-and-goal situation. Newquist again spread wide on the right side. 16-7 Hutchinson. 5 minutes to go in this first half of play. We're in the second quarter. Barlow in motion. Barlow slipped by again Chambers. He went out and looked like he was trying to cut up field, and his feet came out from underneath him. Close to the first down. It will be a first-and-goal situation.
Fullback was open on that particular attempt, but Chambers elected to keep it.
Joe and I were on the field earlier on, and we were watching Carter Boo warm up, and we saw Carter Boo's feet just come right out from underneath him, right, Joe? And maybe that was like right there on Chambers. Just couldn't cut up field, got enough for the first down, however.
Yeah, and it hasn't just been Chambers. It's been all over the field tonight to whoever is trying to make a quick cut.
Little slick on the quick cut. I don't know if it's precipitation or if it's just a matter of an older field. It gets right up the middle of the ball. He's met, tried to squeeze it straight up, and was knocked right back at him.
Yeah, he ran straight into Ty Garrett, and when you run into Ty Garrett, you usually don't go any further. Yeah. He's about 6'3", 220.
Garrett, a good player, goes both ways, wide out as well as a linebacker. So 2nd down and goal from the 8.
Ty Garrett, one of those rare 4-year starters.
Newquist split wide right. Barlow in the right slot. McEwen in that L slot. Cantu. The turn to give it to Cantu straight up the middle. Tries to squeeze it through one of the holes set up for him, and it takes it all the way down to about the 3-yard line. 3:35 and counting to go in this second quarter of play. They're going to mark it officially on the 5. I was way off on my spot. His knee hit at the 5. So it'll be a 3rd down and goal. We were facing these earlier, and we're able to take advantage of it. Let's see who they spread out there. Cantu will remain in at fullback.
Take care of the football. Don't commit any penalties, and make sure you put some points on the board.
Chambers. The turn, the pitch on the outside. There's a rocket pitch to McEwen. Backs his way all the way to the end zone. Is he in there? Yes! Touchdown, Hutchinson! McEwen was hit at about the 5, and he backed his way in like he did earlier for a first down. Hutchinson up and leading it 22-7.
Well, there was the rocket toss to McEwen, and he's a hard man to tackle. He's a good player. He got a lot of that on his own.
McEwen around that left edge, he did. He was hit at the 5, spun backwards. He runs backwards than any player out there. Great job by Alex McEwen. Here's the hole. The kick by Boo is up and on its way, and it is perfect. And your score with 3:01 to go in this first half of play. Hutchinson 23, Salina South 7. We'll await the Salthawk kickoff when we return right after this. And your fine folks you'll listen to that bring Salthawk football to you on KWBW Radio Hutchinson. We'll be right back.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
All right, welcome back to Salina, Kansas. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson on the video stream, which, by the way, go to salthawksports.com and watch that. And Joe Blake on the sidelines, 23-7. all Salthawks so far, especially in that first quarter. They were able to reel off a touchdown, a 2-point safety, as well as another Duvall touchdown, and then we just got one in the second quarter from McHugh on a 3rd down and goal from the 5 situation. Good night for football. Mixed in between there was a Salina South touchdown.
One of the more impressive drives of the season by Hutchinson, that was a 71-yard drive that took more than 9 minutes.
Here is the kick, a little squibber. It's going to hit back at the 23-yard line, bounces up, and nobody's going to go nowhere right there. It's loose football, and Hutchinson says they have it. Let's see what the official says. It will be Salthawk football at the 25.
That's Zach Hogan on the fumbled football. The ball bounced on some open turf. Drew Baird picked it up on the bounce, ran into his own player, got a little bit off balance, and then the cover team was there to smother him. He coughed it up, and there was Zach Hogan ready to pounce on.
Hogan bounced on it. It looked to me like Baird was going back kind of backwards, and maybe that ball, somebody might have hit right at it. All of a sudden it was loose. It was right on the sidelines, and it will be Hutchinson football with 2:57 to go. Big opportunity here on another turnover by South. Dallas Chambers, the quarterback. Turn to get to Duvall. He'll squeeze between 2 players and take it all the way down to the 21. Pick up a 4 on the play. Poor Duvall, his name with the PA is being butchered. We might at halftime, Dan, be kind and go down there.
A case study of why good PA men like Randy McKay and Darren Dunn,
yeah.
They always check out the pronunciations of every player's name before the game starts.
3rd down and from the 22. 3rd down and 7. Well, we make mistakes too, but that's one that I always say the PA announcers to some extent need to really pay attention. Man, a motion to ball. They give away. This time it's Kentu, and he'll take it forward and get the 1st down. Hutchinson just shredding this defense of Salina South.
Hutchinson may not want to stop for halftime the way this first half has been going.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Joe, good pick, a quick opener right there. You sent Barlow in motion. That got that linebacker sliding over a little bit, and then here came Cantu.
Yeah, Cantu burst through the hole and was securing the ball the whole way and got the 1st down, and now the Sox will keep it moving.
1st and 10 on the 13 of South. Hutchinson has the ball in the backfield now at that fullback slot. Look for the Bull to get the ball. The pitch on the outside. There's a rocket toss again to McEwen at the 10, at the 5. Angles for the corner. Touchdown, Hutchinson. Touchdown, Hutchinson from way outside at the 13-yard line. Wow, what a run by. That's twice McEwen on the pitch has worked tonight on the rocket toss.
Well, that time he had some good blocking. Jalen Barlow from his slot back position, he engaged with the Salina South would-be tackler and continued to block him all the way into the end zone.
So now the point after try with 1:42 to go in the second quarter. Here's the kick, and it's on its way, and it is up, and it is good. And your score with 1:42 to go in the second quarter of play. Hutchinson 30, the Salina South Cougars 7. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more in the Salthawk kickoff coming your way. Again, 1:42 to go in the second quarter. It's Hutchinson 30, Salina South 7. We'll be back for the kickoff right after this on the Salthawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salthawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Easily, and I mean easily, the best first half of football that Hutchinson has played this year. No doubt about it.
Got to be enjoying this. Hey, go to YouTube and look at Salthawk Sports, and you can watch this along with us because it's kind of fun.
Yes, it is. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and I know a lot of the players go back and watch it the next day, and glad to have them go and do that. So it'll also be loaded up on NFHS Network later on tonight. Here comes the Salthawk Boo kickoff. Again, puts it up. It's going to be taken at the 28, slicing upfield and tackled at about the 36-yard line. Nice job on the return, Charlie Baird, but Hutch was all over right there to make the stop.
Sure tackle by Dylan Peterson. Nice job. And this will be the first offensive snap for Salina South in the second quarter.
Wow.
1:39 to go before halftime. Salina South has not taken an offensive snap this entire quarter.
Good job by Peterson on that return by Salina. By Baird, just chopped him down right at the 36.
Wide receiver
so Galloway
is offsides.
Yep, sure does look like it, doesn't it? Back to passes. Galloway, there's a whole slurry after him, and they sack him. They sack him back at the 30-yard line.
Hunter Austin got in the backfield and made the sack. That's the 25th time this season that the quarterback for Salina South has been sacked, Taryn Galloway.
Loss of 5 on the play, second down and 15. Galloway in the shotgun this time. Here comes the blitz. Galloway back to pass. Steps up, throws the ball. Catch is made. Sackle is made. Gain of only 2.
Salina South has to be a little bit cautious here because they might give up another score.
They're worried that they're really down, and one more score by the Salt Hawks would really make it tough in the second half to get the kids back up and get in this. But a nice catch made over there by Drew Baird.
That was one of those passes that if Hutchinson picks it, it's a pick 6.
Third down and 10. They got it back to the original line of scrimmage. Galloway on the toss on the outside. Catch is made. Tackle's made right at the 45. Short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and 1.
Another tackle by Devin Hackney. He's been all over the field. He just has a nose for the football, and when he gets to that ball carrier, he brings them down.
Ty Garrett with the catch, but quickly brought down. 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. Big play right here. Galloway. Will he throw the ball? Will he run the ball? Again, they haven't been on offense for some time. He's going to throw it on the outside. Incomplete. Hutchinson will take over on downs and have the ball 1st and 10 on their own on the south 45-yard line, So 38 seconds to go. Now, Dan, do you just play conservative here and try to hold on to the football, make sure you don't give them something free, or do you try to air it out and go for something?
I've run the ball because Hutchinson has been effectively running it, and if you pick up some positive yardage on first down, then I'm willing to take a timeout and see what
Joe Blake on the sideline. Listen to him. A while ago he's talking about he'd take a chance. Didn't he say that?
Yeah, I agree with that, but only one timeout for this. That's one thing that you got to keep in mind if they're going to move the ball here.
Only one timeout, so let's see what they do. So thanks, Joe Blake. Joe Blake's comment on the sideline brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as Papa John's Pizza. And they're going to take a knee and be conservative, make sure there's no turnovers, and that's what they do. And that'll send us to the locker room. It should, at least, unless they take another timeout. 31, clock's moving along right here. Hutchinson leading at 30-7. That's right, 30-7. Salt Hawks on top, and Salt Hawks are headed to the dressing room, and so are the Cougars of South. We will take a 2-minute timeout. 2-minute break coming your way. We'll set up all the stats and get into the Medicine Shop in-game council. Also talk about the Culligan Waters USD 308 activity report coming your way, all right after this 2-minute timeout.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won. In Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Salina. It is intermission halftime, 30-7. Salt Hawks are on top. Clint Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Sarah Peterson running the video photographer on Salt Hawk Sports at youtube.com, as well as Joe Blake on the sideline. Hutchinson scored quickly, and by the way, this is the Medicine Shop in-game capsule report brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main, the Medicine Shop. Flu shots are underway, folks. I got mine just the other day. Grant Bunning gave him my shot. Did a great job. He's just as good as Lacey, but they give flu shots as well as, don't forget, the zoster shots that they have as well for the shingles. Shingrix is the vaccine that they have. Now, that's a prescription, so they will call your doctor and line up that for you and see what your insurance will pay as well. The pneumonia shots and also Medicare Part D window is open now. You have till December 7th. So go in there with your medications. If you're not a customer, take your medications with you. They'll plug it in a computer. They'll tell you what the best deal is in the state of Kansas, and you can then decide whether or not you want to go with that program, and also if you want to go with the Medicine Shop. Highly recommend it. They do a great job. It happened quick for Hutchinson. They forced a turnover on the kickoff, and then took it in all the way down to the 1-yard line. They had it at the 31-yard line of South, right around that, and took it all the way into ball with a 1-yard run on 3rd down and goal. A kick by Boo was good for 7-0. Hutchinson with the lead. He turned right back around. That happened at the 9:05 mark. 2 minutes later, a bad snap by Salina South from the 27-yard line went through the end of the end zone, and all of a sudden you had a safety, and Hutch was up 9-0. Then we go to the ball from 21 yards out on 3rd down and 4 with 3:17 to go in the first quarter. Put it up, another touchdown, and all of a sudden it was 16-0. You had a score by Salina South right at the end, close to the end of the first quarter. Brandon Cox took it in from 8 yards out for the touchdown, and then Hutchinson again in the second quarter. McHugh on an 8-yard rocket toss from 3rd down and goal got the touchdown in. That was with right at just a few minutes, right at about 4-something to go in the second quarter of play. He came back with another McHugh and rocket toss on 3rd down and 8 with 1:42 to go in the second quarter of play, and Hutchinson leads it 30-7 after halftime. That is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule report. Little White Castle at 14th and Main. They do a great job. Stop in and see them. It's the Medicine Shop in downtown Hutchinson.
It's easy to make sure you're drinking clean, healthy water every day with all of Culligan's state-of-the-art water treatment products, including water softeners, drinking water systems, or bottled water. You can get what works for you. You'll start enjoying the health benefits right away, and you'll start saving on future replacement costs of appliances and faucets. For better water, pure and simple, call your locally owned Culligan, serving Central Kansas with offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Great Bend.
It's halftime, and it's time for the USD 308 Weekly Activity Report, brought to you by Culligan Water of Hutchinson, Lyons, and Great Bend. Give your Culligan man a call at 669-9375. Rethink how your home drinks. Culligan Water Systems change everything, from laundry and showering to drinking and cooking. And now, here with your Weekly Activity Report is Hutch High Junior Sarah Peterson.
Hey, Salt Hawk fans, here's your Hutch High Activity Report for next week. On Saturday, October 19th, girls varsity tennis will participate in state tennis at Washburn Rural. Good luck, girls. Cross country will be at Salina South for a varsity invitational. On Tuesday, October 22nd, varsity golf will be at state at Cary Park in Hutchinson. Varsity volleyball will travel to Salina South for a dual match starting at 5 p.m. Varsity boys soccer will host Salina South for senior night at the Salt Hawk Sports Complex at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, October 24th, boys varsity soccer will travel to Hayesville for a match with the campus Colts. That match will begin at 6:30 p.m. On Friday, October 25th, we wrap up the week with varsity football being home and taking on campus. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. That's your USD 308 activity report for next week.
That was this week's USD 308 Weekly Activity Report, brought to you by Culligan Water of Hutchinson, Lyons, and Great Bend. Give your Culligan man a call at 620-669-9375. Rethink how your home drinks. Culligan Water systems change everything, from laundry and showering to drinking and cooking. We'll be back with more from halftime on the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
We're glad to have you with us at Salina, Kansas, where the Hutchinson Salt Hawks lead the Salina South Cougars 30-7 at halftime. We're joined by Activities Director at Hutchinson High School, one of the best men you will ever meet anywhere on planet Earth, Kevin Armstrong. Thank you for joining us.
You're too kind, Coach Knack.
Well,
it's always a pleasure to be with you.
It's the truth, and I'll tell you what, if we can get ahead 30-7 at every game, we're just going to make you a permanent fixture.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about what happened to a very impressive young man that plays it for the freshman football team, Gabe I.
Yeah, Gabe was injured in the game on Monday and was taken over to Wesley Hospital. Had gone through a couple surgeries, and we've been in contact with Mom and did not get a report today. I was at state tennis and when I talked to her yesterday, it seemed like he was a little more alert and in a lot of pain, but had gone through a second surgery to try to stop some bleeding. But good news is they indicated he would be moved into a regular room hopefully today. So
well, that's good. We're
glad he's on the mend.
Well, we hate to hear news like that, but we're always going to be optimistic.
Absolutely. It was just an unfortunate play, and sometimes part of football, but Gabe's doing well, and we're going to welcome him back and hope a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. I always tell students, take some business classes at Hutchinson Community College. That's the cure. Maybe we should get him in a couple of those classes, and he'd feel better in a day or two.
Absolutely. That's always a great day in business classes at Hutchinson Community College.
But honestly, our thoughts do go out to Gabe and his entire family, and we want good things to happen with him. Mr. Armstrong, we got a few other things going on at Hutchinson High School other than football.
Absolutely. Got to spend the day in Topeka at state tennis. We qualified 5 young ladies to the state meet. 5 of the 6 qualified, like I said, but 2 of them won some matches, and 2 of them were on the court when I left, and so it's an exciting day to get to watch kids compete at the state level. Cross country.
Before we get off tennis, where's the state tennis meet?
State tennis meet is in Topeka.
And do they combine different classes for this meet, or is it
just 6A? So. I think 5A was down in Pittsburgh this year.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. I get on a roll here. Our cross country had the opportunity today to compete in the league meet here in Salina as well. Typically it's on a Saturday, but they had another event at their course that kind of bumped us to today. But our boys team ended up third place. We had league champion Noah Cole finished first in Division I. Our girls were fourth, and I believe that we were fourth, fifth, and eighth in the girls' race. So had a really good day for our cross-country team. Golf, Sarah alluded to in the activities report. We have a young lady that's going to participate in state golf on Monday, right at our home course at
Cary Park.
Cary Park. Wow, I almost said Prairie Dunes. Cary Park.
We'll take credit
Reagan,
for Prairie Dunes
right,
also.
Right. Reagan Martin's going to represent the Salt Hawks on Monday and Tuesday. It's a new state tournament is going to be 2 days now instead of one, so that's a little different than the past. That's a change that they've made to the golf tournaments at the state level, so she'll get to play a 2-day tournament. Volleyball is having a successful season, sitting in 6th place right now in the sub-state standings, and then soccer has competed and been in all the games and have won 6 matches so far. So lots of good things going on.
It's a busy time of year at Hutchinson High School. There's something for it's one of the really impressive things about USD 308 and Hutchinson High School. There really is something for everybody.
There is. We've got lots of activities. I get to spend a lot of time doing what I really love to do, watching kids compete and become better people.
And you're very good at what you do. We always appreciate everything that you take care of. There's so many details that have to be attended to, from getting the facilities lined up to having the officials taken care of to making sure the coaches know all the rules that they have to abide by and making sure all the players are eligible. I mean, you just do one thing after another and it all comes together.
Absolutely. It's a job that I thoroughly enjoy, and we've got a good coaching staff and enjoy working with them. Really look forward to watching the kids compete, and we're about to wind down the fall, though.
And then what comes next?
Well, we get a new batch of basketball and wrestling and swimming, so at least we'll be inside when it gets cold.
When does basketball and wrestling and the next batch of sports get started?
Those kick off November 18th, so we still have about a month, but
that's coming soon.
Everybody's getting ready.
That's coming soon. That's amazing how fast that calendar is turning.
Well, it goes faster as I get older.
Well, you could still pass for 29, my friend.
Right, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what we're going to do to pay tribute to the seniors that are participating in fall activities.
Absolutely. So next Friday night, last home game, we will honor our football players and our band and our color guard before the game. The other activities do their senior nights at their last home game. So
have any of those already happened? Like volleyball maybe has done it.
Yeah, and it's kind of tough to honor them at a golf match or a golf tournament and some of those things, but they do some of that at their end of the year banquets. But soccer has senior night on Tuesday.
Okay.
Against I think it's against the same South Cougars. So we're getting a lot of time with South this week. But we'll honor our soccer players at the match on Tuesday. Really looking forward to that. What a great facility we have. I hope you don't mind me talking just a little bit about that. But this cooler weather has really got that bluegrass growing and really looks good. We really want to thank our district administration for allowing that to happen. Everybody's playing on synthetic turf, but we've got a great grass field and a
lot of players and coaches actually prefer the natural turf for soccer.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why. I was not a soccer player, so no, we are very fortunate to have the best field around.
Well, it'll be a big night, Friday night for sure at Gowan Stadium. You said that'll be football, band, and color guard. So come out to Gowan Stadium. If everything goes on schedule next week, it'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. Hayesville campus will come to town. That's a football game that is certainly winnable for the Salt Hawks. So we'd like to see a big crowd at the Gowan Stadium 1 week from tonight.
Absolutely. We look forward to it.
Mr. Armstrong, thank you so much for visiting with us. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you.
Thank you, Coach Knack. Appreciate all you and Glenn and everybody do.
We're going to come back in 1 minute and get some thoughts from Glenn Grunwald.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At the Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're the Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Swimming pool season is coming to an end, and that makes us sad at Pools Plus. To keep the party going, we have extended the sale on all outdoor furniture. Take advantage of the huge savings on all the fun, bright-colored chairs, tables, and benches. Strong enough to withstand the Kansas weather and pretty enough to add some extra pop in your outdoor decor. Come see what Pools Plus has to offer. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
All right, good evening, everybody. 30-7 at halftime. Coach Knack, as we like to see that, Hutchinson with the lead over South. And Hutchinson played just about. It's going to be fun, and hopefully it continues in the second half because I want to hear what Coach Vernon, that's about as good as I think Hutchinson could have played in the first half. Now, he'll probably prove me wrong because coaches see things. What do you think as a coach?
I think Hutchinson played very well that first half. They did it really well on both sides of the football and in the special teams department. How about not once but twice picking up extra possessions on fumbled kick returns from Salina South, and also the safety on Salina South's punt attempt. So it's offense, defense, and special teams all getting it done tonight here in Salina.
3 scores from inside the red zone. And a couple of them were on third down and goal situations. So just an outstanding job by Hutchinson. Again, Duvall scoring 2 touchdowns. McCune on 2 of them on the rocket toss. Did a great job there. And then we also, of course, had the safety that took the other score for Hutchinson. Hats off to also, don't forget, Cox, number 26, for a very good Salina South team. Did a good job. 8 yards out, 24 seconds left to go in the second quarter for their TD. But he hadn't been able to get on track. Looked like they were. They moved the ball pretty effectively, but he really hasn't been able to do what I thought maybe South would be able to do to our defense, and Hutchinson did a great job.
The way that Hutchinson offensive line dominated the first half, Salina South didn't have very many opportunities on offense. They really only got the ball 3 times, and one of those they sustained a very nice 74-yard drive that Salina South ended up scoring on, but the other 2 times Salina South got to take offensive snaps. That Salthock defense forced a 3-and-out and a 4-and-out.
And now Hutchinson will get the ball because South is going to have to kick away. It's going to be interesting to see if South maybe tries an onside kick, trying to quickly get back in this thing. They're down by 23. It's a little over 3 scores, 4 to be exact. We'll see what's going to happen. We'll check in with Joe in just a second. Here comes the kick to start the second half of play. It'll sail out of the end zone with that wind, and Hutchinson will get a touchback. They had the ball. What's the attitude on the sideline, Joe? You've been around some of the players. They have to be pretty excited.
Yeah, they're pretty excited, and they just want to keep pounding in the second half and not let up on this Salina South Cougars.
Keep the pedal to the metal, as they say. Thank you. Joe's Sideline Reports brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company at East 30th, as well as also don't forget about Papa John's Pizza at East 17th, 501 East 17th, 665-7272 is their location. So glad to have them along as well. So I saw, Knack, did you have anything to do with these little extra sayings that I had sometimes?
Yeah, I think that is somebody else's handwriting on there.
I think it is too, referring to some of my Glennisms that they referred to. So here we go. Hutchinson with the first possession of the second half of play. He looks dangerously ornery. You're looking over at Sarah. Here's a drive, and Hutchinson quick stop right there by South as McEwen could not get untracked and actually lost a 1. Second down at 11.
This is one of those Friday nights when everything was going so well for Hutchinson throughout the first half that you just don't want halftime to come. You just want to tell the officials, let's skip halftime and let's just continue playing.
I was just talking with Patrick Strayton, that is the broadcast voice of Salina South, who works for Rockingham Media here, sports director at Rockingham, and he's talking about, hey, you can't let Hutchinson get one of those long 7-play, 9-minute drives like they had, and there's a straight-up-the-middle carry by the Salt Hawks, and Hutson's trying to start that right here in the second half as Cantu carries it forward for about 2 yards, gets back to that loss and picks up another 2 yards, so second down and 8.
Hutchinson does not want to be in a punting into the wind situation from deep in their own territory. They desperately want to pick up this first down and keep the momentum rolling.
Duvall, who had 2 touchdowns in that first half, comes back in along with Chambers with the play. Wide out on the left side now, third down and 7. Passing situation, wide out on the right side in Newquist. Chambers says a man in motion, keeps it, pitches on the outside, to run the rocket pitch to the right side. McEwen gets all the way to the 30. He stopped there, short of the first down, and it will be a punting situation for Hutchinson.
I'm not 100% sure that Hutchinson will punt.
Let's see what they're going to do. How short is it going to be?
4th and 2.
4th and a long 2, though, Nat, because they're going to mark the ball right at the 28-yard line. They have to get to the 30, so it's just a little bit behind the 28, so we'll call it 2.
You just don't get much out of a high school punt into the wind when the wind is blowing this hard. And we saw what happened with Salina South when they tried to punt from about that same spot in the first half. The long snap went clear through the back of the end zone.
That's true. Worth seeing if they'll do the hard count and try to jump south outside. There goes McEwen. They've tried to bring the blitz, and they turn and call the timeout. This is just like what they did in the first half, and they'll go over and talk things over. That gives us an opportunity to take a break as well. Let you hear from some fine sponsors of Salt Hawk football. 30-7, third quarter of play, 9:36 to go in the third. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back after you hear this on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Salina, Kansas. Salina Stadium, home of both the Salina Cougars as well as the Mustangs of Salina Central.
Offense has come back on the field for Hutchinson. They intend to go for this 4th down conversion.
All right, here we go. The ball in that backfield. Chambers has McEwen on that L slot. Barlow on the right slot. Sends Barlow in motion. The turn to give to the ball. Working forward, I think he might have the first down. They'll carry him all the way to the 35. He got it on the initial surge and then more. So they'll move the chains. First down, Hutchinson. Joe, what do you think? Big stack right there. The ball just keeps turning his feet.
Yeah, just keep turning his feet, and he was able to move the chains there and was able to get a pretty good push, but that was after the whistle, so they'll mark it about the 32.
Yep, mark it at the 32. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Joe's Sideline Report brought to you by, again, Brown Shoe Fit, as well as Papa John's Pizza. 9:33 to go in this third period of play, and Hutchinson leading it 30-7.
Hutchinson's 3 for 3 on 4th down conversion attempts, aren't they?
Yep, I think so. I believe so, because I know they had a couple third down and goals. To give to Cantu this time across the 35 to the 36, and a pickup of 4 on the carry. Bring up a second down and 6 call for Hutchinson. Rotating Cantu and Duvall back and forth. Here comes Duvall back into the lineup. Cantu will take a break. And then Hutchinson's Chambers comes in from the sideline. I'd love to put a Fitbit on that kid and just see how many miles or steps that he runs during a ball game.
Yeah, he goes all the way over to the sideline to get the play from Coach Vernon.
All right, Hutchinson gets set. Chambers, the quarterback, down under center. That's Pham. The turn to give to Duvall. Second effort gets him across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line. Very close to a first down.
The Cougars had him stopped at the line of scrimmage. He just kept running, ran through the tackle.
They'll move the chains for another Salt Hawk first down. And Hutchinson just keeps giving it to Duvall and having success so far. I go by the theory you give it till they stop you. and just keep running it, and they start to sneak a little bit, cheat a little bit to that hole that he's coming through, and then it could pop someplace else. Salthawks, 1st and 10 from the 42, their own 42. Ball right in the center, not on the left or right hash mark. Dallas Chambers, turn to give to the ball again. Another quick opener. He's doubled up this time as he hits the hole hard, but he's driven back after he gets to about the 44.
Hutchinson's not in a big hurry. They're going against the wind. They have a 23-point lead. They're very happy to control the football, grind out yards, eat up the clock.
So Hutchinson facing a 2nd down and about 8 situation. 2nd and 8 from the 44. Salina trying to stack it up with the linebacker sneaking closer to the line of scrimmage. Turn to give to Cantu. He's got some opening. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. And he's brought down right at the 30-yard line. A quick opener up the middle as he hit that hole hard, squeezed through the hole, and took it all the way down to the 31. 1st and 10, Hutchinson.
25-yard gain.
Cantu hit it hard. He had nothing but wide open daylight. And finally, Salina South caught up with them. Again, officially marked at the 31. So quick opener by Cantu with 7:08, clock moving away. And again, this is one of those patented drives. Started at the 20, worked a lot of 3rd downs, even went up, had a 4th down situation and converted. Now you're under 7 minutes in the 3rd. You control the ball game 30-7, and you're driving. 1st and 10 from the 31 for the Salthawks. Chambers to give to McEwen, slices to the right, back pedals, gets across the 25, down to the 24, down to the 23-yard line, out of bounds at the 17. What a run by McEwen.
3 Cougars had a chance to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage, but McEwen just kept churning those feet, kept his balance. And my goodness, that's an impressive run. That's a highlight run.
Colby Bellew finally made the stop, but that was a highlight run as he got backwards like he normally does. I think he runs faster backwards than he does forward, churning his feet, and then he spun around and had daylight in front of him. Finally brought down at officially the 18-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutch.
If I need to move a refrigerator or a piano, I'm calling Alec McEwen.
I'm going to McEwen and maybe, just to be safe, get the ball in there as well. And a motion, the give straight ahead, running by Duvall. He's opening close to the end zone, is down to about the 3-yard line, and it'll be a 1st and goal situation for Hutchinson. Duvall hits the hole so hard, and I've said that 3 or 4 times, I'll mark it at the 3.
We've already passed the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. Hutchinson has controlled every snap of the football offensively.
So Hutch huddles up right at about the 10-yard line. This has been Duvall, Cantu, and McEwen contributing on these carries. Let's see if Chambers wants to get on the action a little bit on a keeper possibly.
Well, that offensive line, again, we've given them a lot of credit because they've earned it. They are driving people off the ball.
Again, Pendergast on the left side. Here's a give to Barlow, and he's driven backwards. And he'll lose yardage. They'll mark it back at the 5. So a hole looked like it was there. It closed up quickly. Barlow got swallowed up and thrown back for a loss.
Glenn, exactly what you said right before this 3rd quarter started that Salina South did not want to happen has happened.
And time off the clock with 5:07 to go now in the contest. This long drive by the Salthawks. And the Salthawks leading 30-7. Now, they got a nice defensive play there. 2nd and goal from the 5 now. Thrown back 2 yards. So let's see what Hutch has in her bag of tricks. Chambers down under center. Turns, gets a snap to get to Duvall. Duvall ices for the end zone. Gets down to the goal line. Touchdown, Salthawks! Took it in from 5 yards out. Duvall with his 3rd touchdown of the night. Again, he backed it in as usual, took it all the way in, and got that touchdown from 5 yards out.
Most of the yardage gained coming between the tackles, just right up the middle on that drive.
We'll get the point after, and Hutchinson right now leading at 36-7. That was a 2nd down and goal. Here's the kick by Boo. It is up, and it is on his way, and it is perfect. And Hutchinson leads at 37-7 with 4:41 to go in this third quarter play. We'll be back for the Hutchinson kickoff coming your way from Salina Stadium right after this on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Salt Hawk football on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. So glad to have you on. Joe Blake, he made it look easy. I think he does back pedal than he does forward pedal.
Yeah, he did make it look easy. And after that touchdown, Isaiah Delval, he's more a calm, demeanored guy, but he let out a pretty big let's go holler. So
awesome.
He's pretty hyped up down here.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Joe's Sideline Reports brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as also Papa John's Pizza. We'll see if he can catch up with the ball a little bit later on as we get a little bit farther into the ball game. They fake the stampede. Now they'll spread it out, and Carter Boo will kick off. And here comes the Hutchinson kickoff, leading at 37-7. Taken at the 12 by the up back. That's Cox, and he's going to be wrapped up after return to the 25, and they're trying to strip the ball away. He's still trying to churn away, and that's when it gets dangerous for South because Hutchinson players coming in trying to strip that ball. It'll be back to the 25-yard line. And Dan, you don't want to tell a player just to go down or get out of bounds because he's working on it, but you can see the Hutch players trying to strip that ball away.
They're like a bunch of piranha going after that ball. That was Carson Hilty and Anthony Blackwell making the stop.
Yeah, playing a little special teams ball right there. Carson Hilty.
Carson Hilty's been doing a nice job on every one of these kickoffs. He's always in on the play.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25. South, maybe movement on the left side. I'm not sure there's a flag on it. There was a hold and misplay right there. Runs forward for positive yardage. Maybe a 9-yard pickup. Do we have a flag? I don't believe we do.
That offensive lineman was just tackling us all time. I'm not sure.
I was going to be sure we'd see a flag. Did not. And we'll go back and it'll be 2nd down and 2.
Officials saw it differently, I guess.
South's going with a quick offense as they're bringing them to the line quickly. Galloway's still back in the shotgun. Ball on the 32-yard line. Back to pass. Galloway to the right side. Pick out at the 30. Down to the 20. 15, 10. Salt Hawk touchdown. Or did they mark him out at the 1? Let's check it. They marked him out at the 1-yard line, evidently stepped out of bounds. But there was a pick. Galloway looked to the right side. There was a pick from about the 35. Did you see who got it down there, Joe?
Yeah, it was Jalen Moriarty. He got on that point. Sideline is hyped up for Jalen.
Moriarty with the catch. And again, Joe's sideline reports getting a little broken up as the players get in between him. We'll have to get him to an open space. So it'll be a 1st and goal for Hutch. That's set up with a defensive pick by Moriarty. Good to see happening right there. So I thought he was in for the TD. Evidently stepped on that sideline as he was tiptoeing right down the sidelines after the pick. So Hutchinson 1st and goal from the 1. Salt Hawks trying to hang another 7 on the board. Hutch leads at 37-7 right now. Trying to make it 43-7 with a touchdown here.
That was exactly what I thought Salina South was gambling with towards the end of the second quarter.
There's a man in motion to turn to give to Barlow. Barlow falls down at the 1, no gain. And see what the call's going to be. There was a fumble. South picked it up, so Barlow fumbled the football, and South picked it up. So tough break right there. Hutch looked like they're going to pump it into the end zone, and the fumble and was recovered in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback.
Oh, so not only was it a turnover,
wow,
it results in a touchback, so Salina South will get the ball on the 20 instead of inside their own 5. My gosh. Now you really wish that Jalen Moriarty would have been given credit for that pick 6 because it had to be close as to whether he stepped out of bounds.
Sure did. I saw Barlow get it, and then a ball stripped away from him. Barlow's fumble the football away inside the red zone right there. That's a tough break. So here, Hutchinson defensively, let's see what they can come up with. They've been playing outstanding tonight. Galloway on the right side, catch is made out of the screen. Positive yardage, 10-yard pickup out of the screen, up to the 31-yard line. It'll move the chains. So Cox makes the catch over there on the far sideline. So they're going with the safe little dumps other than when Galloway threw the ball away, Dan. As Cox made the catch, picked up 10 on the play, right to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
That's Salina South's version of a run play. Just a quick pass to the outside.
Hutchinson defensively trying to get it going again. A little snap. Galloway's got to get rid of it. Has a receiver after he's open at the 48. Down to the sideline, he'll go. It's going to be a foot race all the way down to the 10-5. Salina South touchdown by Ty Garrett.
70 yards.
Garrett from 70 yards out on the TD. So there you go. You get the pick by Hutch. Takes it down to the 1. You have the fumble. We go the other way. And 2 plays later, 70-yard toss from Galloway to Garrett. And on the board now, 37-13 is your score. 3:41 to go in this third period of play. And how quickly a game can turn around, huh? 70 yards to Garrett from Galloway. 3:41 to go in this third period of play. Here's the point after try. It's up, and it is good. And your score with 3:41 to go in the third period of play is 37-14. 37-14. Hutch on top. We await the South kickoff when we return right after this on Salt Hawk Radio Sports.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Well, Salina South kickoff, and Dan, that's a situation, a very good learning situation for Coach Vernon to say, guys, you turn the ball over. This is what happens. 2 plays, 6 on the board, 7 with the extra point. Just that quick.
Instead of Hutchinson being up 44-7, now it's a 37-14 game.
And that's a lot, but stranger things can happen in high school football. So
without question, Salina South will try to pick up an extra possession while the wind is at their backs here. And look at all that open space as Hutchinson has 10 players up close to the 10-yard mark to cover this kick.
Yep, they think it's going to be an onside-er, and here comes it is. Handle ball, fumble on the play. Salina South thinks they have it. There's a hustle for the ball right at the 40, and we'll see what the call is going to be at Hutchinson football.
It was a good onside kick.
Somehow Hutch came out with it. Salt Hawks came out with it, and I believe that was Taven Smith. That Smith came up with the football. Good job by Taven. Now Hutchinson will have the ball. Should be able to run time off the clock, Dan, if they can, and get us into the fourth quarter.
This is where Hutchinson's offense has to just turn the page, forget about what happened on that last possession, get back to what they've been doing this entire ball game, grinding out first downs.
They'll get set to break center. They'll have the ball on the 40. That was a live ball. It would have been Salina South's ball if they could have got to it.
David Smith was very courageous to cover that.
Got in there and got to it. 1st and 10 Hutch from their own 40-yard line. Good field position. Pitch on the outside. It goes to McEwen, trying to follow his blockers around the edge and picks up 4 yards. They'll squeeze it out to about the 44 is where they'll mark it.
Time for Hutchinson to go back to the fullback right between the tackles, don't you think, Glenn?
I think so, too. Actually, they'll mark it all the way back to the 43. Thought he got a little farther than that, but to move it back a little bit. It brings up a 2nd down and 7.
Ty Garrett just came off the field. He looks a little bit winded. Going to take a little bit of a break, so this is an opportunity for Hutchinson with Salina South's best player on the sideline. You'd think Hutchinson could run at his vacated position.
Newquist splits White left to the right side. Ball on the left hash mark for Hutchinson. 2nd down and 7. I'll give it off straight up the middle, hard running right ahead all the way to the 50. Still grinding his feet close to the first down. And that is again Duvall. Isaiah Duvall just being a man out there. Takes it to the 49, 1st and 10. And Joe, he is running hard, probably harder than I'd seen him run 2 games ago. Did an outstanding job. I was so impressed with him. Right there, after he is being tackled, he picks up 3, 4, maybe 5 more yards.
Yeah, he just keeps that foot down and the feet turning, and he just keeps gaining yards after he...
Isaiah Duvall picking up positive yardage. So they'll split out wide on the right side.
Garrett stays out of the game for another play, so look for Hutchinson to run right at his position again.
Cantu back in there at the fullback slot to give to Cantu. He'll roll forward and pick up positive yardage to about the... And then there's a little scuffle going on between a couple players.
A little bit of history of penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct here at Salina during the last few years.
They're going to mark it right at about the 47-yard line of South. So this will bring up a 2nd down and 8 call. Don't know if there was shoving on Cantu or what we might have seen. Just heard a little ruckus happening. So
no flags.
Gain of a couple here. Dallas Chambers, the quarterback. Fan the center, gives it off. Quick opener to Duvall, and he rolls forward to the 40, close to the 1st down, short by about a half yard. Well, actually, it'll be 1 yard. They'll mark it right at the 40. I just continue to be impressed with the positive yardage he picks up as soon as he touches the football. He hits that hole so hard. And he hardly gives the defense time to be able to adjust. And, Dan, I think by the time they're grabbing a hold of him, his momentum is at full speed and just keeps churning away.
He does get up to full speed just within a matter of a stride or two. It's amazing how quick he is to the hole.
All right, gain of 7. 3rd down and 1 for Hutchinson on the 40, on the South 40. Clock moving away inside of 1 minute to go in the 3rd period. Turn to give to the ball. Nothing there this time. It might have even been short on the play. It'll become a 4th down and short situation.
Handoff wasn't totally clean. He did a good job of controlling the football.
Duvall's helmet is taken off, and I believe he'll have to exit, and Cantu will come in for him. So they'll mark it back at the 3. And
another 4th down.
4th down call. So a big 4th down call here.
By my count, Hutchinson is 3 for 3 on 4th down conversion attempts this game.
Hutchinson can take this down and run out the clock here in the 3rd if they wish to.
And that would give the opportunity for...
Joe, you're going to have to move where you're closer sight because you keep cutting out a little bit, buddy. What'd you say?
That would give an opportunity for Delval to come back into the game because his helmet was removed if that break were to happen.
Exactly. And I think that's what they're going to do. Joe slid over 2 yards and he was clear, so that's where that's exactly what they're going to do. So that's the end of the quarter. Hutchinson leading at 37-14. Hutch facing a 4th and 1 when we return at the start of the 4th quarter. Hutch on top. 37-14. We'll be back with more right here on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won. In Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Started the 4th quarter. Glenn Brumwell, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson on the video. Right at salthawksportsyoutube.com. I'll get this straight. Joe Blake on the sidelines and gives an opportunity now for Hutchinson to maybe make a change. And they give it off to Cantu, trying to get that 4th down. And Cantu stood straight up, but then he leans forward, and I think he might have got it. It's going to be really close. See where they match it and mark it. And yes, it will be a 1st down. So, Joe, you were correct. He had the opportunity to get the ball back in there, but coming out gave Cantu an opportunity. He was stood straight up but still got the 1st down.
I think that's one of those things where they saw that Salina South wouldn't known that Delval was coming if he was back into the game after they just let the clock run out so he could come back.
Correct. If you just tuned in for the first time, Joe Blake is a senior at Hutch High, doing a great job as a sideline reporter for us this year. We appreciate his work very, very much. Sarah Peterson, a junior at Hutch High, doing a great job. She's one of the International Baccalaureate students for Todd Ray, who we had on before. Here's Hutchinson on a first down situation. The ball back in there, bakes his head all the way down to the 30, turning away, and now he's put back. But there's forward progress. Should be a pickup about 8 yards on the carry. So great drive by Duvall. I am so impressed with him.
Duvall is running hard. So is Cantu. So is McEwen. So is Barlow. So is Chambers. And that offensive line, Levi Allen, Caden Pennington, Jonathan Fan, Chase Kepler, Pajan James, Kyler Burnett. And let's also give Kinzer Newquist some credit blocking from his wide receiver position because he's getting it done. And then you've got Alec McEwen and Barlow. And my gosh, it's just a total offensive
It really is. And the difference, though, I think, in Fan moving the center's really done a good job. And there's a pitch on the outside of McEwen, one man to beat on the outside across the 30, to the 25, angles to the 20, and brought down after a first down run of about 17 yards.
Colby Bully pulled him down. Otherwise, McEwen would have found himself all the way in the end zone.
Turned the corner on that right side and rolled off a bunch of yards. They'll mark it officially at the 21, so great job by McEwen. Had one man to beat over there and picked up a good block on the outside, as you described there, Dan, and then was able to get around and pick up about 10 to 12 more yards. 10:30 to go in the ball game. Clock moving away. Hutchinson moving the football from right to left as you watch and listen, from the south to the north. They'll split out the wide out on the left side. That'll be Turner. Back to turn to Barlow, given another opportunity, and he slices forward to about the 15-yard line, Looked like it was going to get more yards, but it closed quickly. So a penalty marker on the play. And, Joe, do you pick up what it might be?
I did not on this play.
I did not either. I didn't see where it might have came from, and we'll get the indication over the white hat here in a second. Personal foul, face mask against Salina South. So it'll move the ball, and that probably helped tackle Barlow a little bit right there.
Yeah, that'll move it half the distance.
Half the distance. See where they're going to mark it.
8-yard line.
They're going to mark
it even further.
Might be more. Here comes Turner in, and Newquist will check out from the sidelines. 10:08 to go.
Looks like about the 8-yard line.
They'll mark it at the 8. So first and goal from the 8 for the Salthawks of Hutchinson. Salthawks return home. Hutchinson returns home next week for senior night. They take on Hayesville campus. So be at the Gowan Stadium. Last home game of the season. Salthawks pretty sure we're going to be going on the road. Here's a handoff straight opener by Duvall to about the 5. Pick up of a couple.
Glenn, you like the way Duvall runs the football, and we have it on good account from his high school calculus teacher that he's also a pretty good student.
That sounds great.
High school.
Tell you what, Chase Kepler doing a good job in an offensive line. He's a sophomore for Hutchinson. I have heard from numerous people saying the 7th grade won undefeated, did an awesome job this year, and 8th grade had a great team. Freshman lost the other night. By the way, again, we talked about Gabe I. Hope his parents, and maybe Gabe's even listening tonight, go to that GoFundMe page. Help him out, folks. The young man's been through a lot, a couple surgeries. Go to Hutch Post and check up on the story if you can. There's a drive up the middle, pick up of a couple yards. And it'll be Duvall again. They'll mark it at the 3. So, 3rd and goal from the 3 now, facing the Salthawks of Hutch. I think his mother, Jennifer, made a Facebook page called Gabe I Update. And that's Gabe, and, of course, EYE. Jennifer did a great job with writing the story. Kind of tells you exactly what he's been going through, and no young man should have to go through that at the age of 14 or 15 years of age.
That's right.
Dallas Chambers, the quarterback. Down under center, and a fan sends a man in motion. The pitch, the rocket pitch on the outside. McEwen's a race to the end zone, trying to get the pylon. Touchdown, Hutchinson! Just angled it in the TD for Hutch. Now a little Nose and mask talking down there by both teams, but McEwen angled it toward the pylon and took it in for 6. Great job on the run right there. Didn't really need the blockers. He used his speed to get to the outside, Dan, and Joe Blakey did a nice job of angling toward that pylon over there.
Yeah, he did do a great job of angling towards the pylon, and Kinzer Newquist sealed the edge there and did
a great job.
That's what turned it into a foot race. You're exactly right, Joe. The wide receiver, Kinzer Newquist, sealed off the edge of the defense, and that just turned it into a sprint to the end.
Really did. Here comes Carter Blue to try the extra point. 43-14 Hutchinson, 8:15 to go. Again in this fourth quarter of play, and there's a flag on the play. The point after was good, and Hutchinson leads at 44-14. We'll sort out the flag while we're gone. We're going to take a timeout. They're going to do the roughing the kicker. They'll probably assess it on the kickoff. We'll be back with more from Salina Stadium with 8:15 to go. Hutch up 44-14. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
8:15 to go in the contest. Fourth quarter of play. It's 44-14. The route is on by the Salt Hawks. Hutchinson on top. And Hutchinson has played an outstanding football game tonight. And South getting a little chippy. They'll mark the yards off on roughing the kicker on this kickoff, and it makes it an extremely short one. And I'll tell you what, I'll try to squib it.
I think Carter Boo can put this one in the end zone, though.
I think he can, too, but I don't think he has to. He's been so successful with those little, it's not a squib kick, it's a little pooch kick. And let's see what he does here, and we'll see if Joe agrees with me when we finish up right here. Here comes the stampede. Now they pull back, and they'll kick it away straight away.
Glad to see Carter Boo bounce right up after he was roughed on that point after touchdown kick.
All right, here we go. He's a tough kid. Here comes the kick on its way, and it will sail out of the end zone. So it did just what you said, put it through the end zone. It'll be, again, Salina South football, 1st and 10 with 8:15 to go in this fourth quarter, trailing 44-14.
Remember, Coach Vernon and I have been friends for about 15 years.
I know.
We kind of think alike on some of these things. I think so, too.
Lots of things can happen, such as breaking one, similar to what Braden Cox did earlier on, and we know he has some speed. Also, Garrett has some speed. So you are true to form right there. So we'll see. Joe, I want you to go catch up in a little bit with Duvall here in just a second. Get a little comment from him, if you can, please. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for South. Again, with 8:15 to go in this fourth quarter of play. The throw down the field. Catch is made at about the 34-yard line. Good enough for the first down. That'll move the chains. His favorite receiver, Ty Garrett, on the catch. So Ty Garrett on the catch moves the chains.
South's going to try to hurry up.
Going with the hurry-up offense. Wants to throw the football again. Now he's going to be rushed. Gets by one player and gets by another one over the outside all the way to the 40-yard line. But a flag on the play could be where a hold is at.
Deep in the backfield.
And we'll see what they're going to sort out. And we'll see if we can go to Joe real quick.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be a holding.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be a hold. It was thrown about around your area, so. Hands to the face. Hands to the face. It's a different one. It's not a hold. It's hands to the face by the defense. So it'll be against Hutchinson. They'll mark it off. So I was way wrong.
On attempting to rush the passer, one of the defensive players got a little bit of face mask against an offensive line.
It'll carry with it as an automatic first down. And so South will set up now on the 45-yard line of Hutchinson. Low snap. Galloway is going to be thrown for a loss. The ball pops out. Hutchinson trying to get to the football, but it's going to be at the 45-yard line. He was thrown for a loss.
Jack Howard picked up the sack.
He darted into the backfield from his linebacker position on the blitz. He came through pretty much untouched. Callaway had no chance.
Well, it's got the crowd fired up because when he went down, he was kind of slung over. The ball came loose, sailed on him. Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 18. Back to pass Galloway. As a receiver out there, incomplete pass. One-on catch trying to be made at the 32, incomplete. And there is a penalty marker on the field, so we'll sort this one out.
This one's in the area where you think of a defensive holding.
I think
or
it's going to be 12 guys on the Sawhawks. They were trying to sub and couldn't quite get everybody off the field.
All right, we'll see if Joe's correct or not. Illegal substitution. Good job, Joe. Picked up on that. So it'll go for the previous spot. The incomplete pass. So let's see where exactly they go with it and mark it off. It's going to go against Hutchinson. They'll mark it right at the 48, so that's not too bad of a loss. It was a loss of 18 now, 3rd down and 13. So the 5-yard loss makes it 13. So 3rd and 13 for the 48 for South.
I think it's a repeat of the down, Glenn.
Okay, back to pass. Over the left side, a little screen pass, and nothing there. Salthawks snipped that one out. Might have
I think Sheldon Jones ripped it from him.
I think so, too. It'll be Salthawk football. Sheldon Jones got the...
The official just decided to award it to
Okay, he gave it back to South. I thought it was Sheldon Jones picking the football off, especially with the reaction of the South players. And I'm not certain what they called.
Sheldon Jones was all over that play no matter how you slice it.
So the ball will receive on South possession. It'll be a 4th and 16. They're going for it. 4th and 16. Hutchinson should bring the house on this one. 4th and 16.
Or is it 3rd?
Well, you're right. Now it's 3rd and 16. You're correct. Back to pass across the middle. Catch is made. 1st and 10 for Salina South. At the 28. What a catch.
Yeah, that's a nice pitch and catch. That's number 23 on the reception.
A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Johnson, and he's also a very good defensive back. One of the better defensive players for South.
Cahoon making the stop. 1st and 10 now for South. To the left side, they'll sling the ball out there. Incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 6:44 to go.
Moriarty had the coverage.
Another flag on the field at about the 45. So Hutchinson just pinning back their ears and coming after him now. Let's see what the call is going to be. Looks like it was incomplete pass, so it comes back. Let's see if it's going to be more than that or not with 6:44 to go. Hands in the face by the offense. So this will be a 15-yard penalty, Dan. It's going to really mark it off a long ways. They're going from the spot to the infraction.
15 from the spotted foul.
Yep, spotted a foul, 15 yards, and now they'll mark it off, and South is going to have to regroup because they thought it was going to be way up closer, and they're going to mark it right at the 50. This is first in a long ways.
Turnabout is fair play. Hutchinson was called for the same infraction a couple of plays ago.
1st and 33 from the 49-yard line for South. 6:44 to go. Back to pass. Galloway flushed out of the pocket to his left side. Wants to throw it. Slings it out there. Catch is made. Down to the 35-yard line. Rolls forward all the way to the 22. Now it's not a first down. Young man got up and pointed like he got the first down. And that throw over there was to Olenberger, I believe, on the catch. It was a long one, but still not a first down. 2nd down and 4. Galloway has the first down. He's down to the 10. Nice inside, and they'll mark it right at the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal.
In two plays, Salina South converted that. What was it again?
It was 1st and 33 from the 49.
In 2 plays, Salina South converts the first down.
1st and goal for Salina South from the 10. Across the middle. Incomplete pass. Incomplete pass, so brings up a 2nd down and goal from the 10.
Not sure. I think Devin Hackney broke up that pass.
This is a situation to where Hutchinson's going to win this game. It'll be their 2nd win of the year. South's going to fall to 1-6. Hutchinson's going to go into the game next week against Campus with the win in their back pocket and feeling pretty good about themselves. Back to pass. Galloway across the middle. Incomplete, or was the catch made?
Moriarty was just all over him with the coverage. Very good coverage. It would have taken a perfect pass to complete that one.
5:57 to go in this fourth period of play. 44-14 Hutchinson.
As Kevin Armstrong told us at halftime, it will be senior recognition for football, band.
Cheer squad, yep.
Yeah, so come out to Gowan Stadium 1 week from tonight.
Back to pass Galloway to the end zone corner right. Catch is made. Touchdown, South. South with the touchdown. Catching the ball was Schreiber. Colin Schreiber with 5:52 to go in this fourth period of play. Makes it 44-20. So with 5:52 remaining, the point after try, they'll set it here. Schreiber with a nice catch over there in the corner right of the end zone. Kick is up, and it is good. And your score, with 5:52 to go, Hutchinson 44, Salina South 21. 44-21. We'll be back with the kickoff from South coming your way in just a little bit. Hutchinson again with a big lead at 44-21 with 5:52 to go. We'll be back on the Salt Hawk Radio Network right here on KWBW Hutchinson, Kansas.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium. 44-21 Hutchinson on top. Last year's score 45-24 Hutchinson. So Hutchinson trying to win 2 in a row from South right here.
It was 44-25 last year?
Yeah, 44-25.
And it's 44-21
44-24 last year, yep. So it's 44-21.
Similar games.
Really similar. It was. I'll get it right. 45-24. There's a squib kick covered up by Hutch. Salthawks will have the football with 5:51 to go in the contest.
Good play by Anthony Blackwell to be sure-handed, cover that onside kick attempt.
You know, you look at that. The fumble at the 1, they come down on the 70-yard touchdown pass over the TD. Here's another one that took it in that Hutchinson thought they had him pinned back, way back on a 2nd down and 33 from the 49. It'll be Hutchinson's ball, 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Hutchinson's own 47. So
there was a penalty assessed against Salina South, so they'll move it into Salina South.
Is it because it did not go to full 10 yards? Is that what the call was? Or
no, I don't.
Something else. Okay. Eisenhower on top of Newton, 7-6 at halftime. By the way, some of these games started at 7 o'clock. Euclid on top of Lorna, it's 26-7. Try to get a couple other.
St. Thomas Aquinas was over Bishop Miege 24-20 at halftime, and that's a battle of two.
It sure is.
Two powerhouses.
Lawrence Free State 27, Shawnee Mission East 7. Lawrence Free State is one of those possibilities for Hutchinson to have to travel to. Here we go. Hutchinson football. 5:51 to go in the fourth period of play. 1st and 10 on their own 47-yard line. Salthawks in that flex wing to give off to the right side. Ball carrier kicks it across the 40. And when I say that, I think we might have a new face back there running the football.
We also have a new quarterback.
And we do have a new quarterback.
A freshman.
That was Blackwell on the carry. Anthony Blackwell on the carry.
Noah Kokar now playing quarterback for Hutchinson. He is a special young man. I love to watch this kid play. He's going to be a good one for a long time at Hutchinson High School.
So Kokar comes in.
Just a freshman.
2nd down and 2. Nice pickup of 8 yards. Again by Blackwell. Kokar to quarterback. Loose football. There you had one of those center snaps. He's not used to fan necessarily. He's been playing freshman ball. And it went forward, though, for maybe a yard and a half. Picked up part of positive yardage.
That's when you know you're charged.
Yeah, exactly. 3rd down and short. 3rd down and short. So
Noah Kokar spends most of the practice time with the freshman team.
But he does move over and practice 20 or 30 minutes at pretty regularly.
Right there,
with
just
the
didn't get a
varsity.
good snap from the center right there, so we'll see what's going to happen.
But I've said before, Noah Kokar reminds me of Devion Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie played a slot back. Kokar plays quarterback.
Let's see him get out and run here. Kokar keeps it. He's going to roll around the outside. He's at the 40 trying to get the angle. Stutter steps inside at the 30. Uses speed to get back to the 30-yard line. He gets the first down.
He's got a little bit of excitement to him, doesn't he, Glenn? He's fun to watch.
Looked like one of those cartoons that's spinning his wheels and the stops, and all of a sudden they take off again.
Actually, I think he could have just kept going.
He'll learn that. He'll learn that. So 4:14 to go. Hutchinson with the 1st and 10. And we're getting a little glimpse of maybe the future here.
So you remember the days of Devion Dinwiddie, Glenn?
Yes, I do.
Does he run a little bit like Devion?
Just a little bit. That's the longest run I've seen him do. I have not been to the freshman ball game, so anyway, he's back in there again. Kokar, the quarterback, gets the snap, keeps it himself on the right side, pitches on the outer perimeter. Blackwell trying to make something happen, and he is all by himself on an island out there. As here came South to gather him in. Forward progress at about the 36-yard line. Lossage of play of about 5 yards.
Well played by Salina South. Good job. They shut down all of the alternatives on the option.
All right. 2nd down and 16 from the 36 is where they finally marked it. Kokar, the quarterback, freshman quarterback. As they break huddle, fans still out there at center.
Yeah, I think it's still the starting offensive line.
Yeah, sure is.
When you put a freshman in at quarterback,
you better protect him, huh?
Right. That's right.
All right, now to get set. Blackwell in the L slot, the center man in motion. The pitch on the outside is a wild pitch. Barlow trying to get back to it. Can't get to it. South comes up with it. Barlow never had a chance. Kokar let him off balance a little bit. Barlow trying to get to it, was not able to. It will be South football. So they cough it up with 3:21 remaining to go in his 4th period of play. And so they'll mark it. South will have the football.
It's all part of the learning curve. That's okay. You kind of expect takes some varsity experience to be ready to run.
Barlow never had a chance to get through that, so you kind of got to get a little blame on the freshman, but still, great effort right there.
It's just all part of it. Every football player goes through
just like you and I working together, right? Kind of?
You carried me from the beginning, and you're still carrying me, Glenn.
We're going to talk about your bets with Joe here in just a second. Back to passes. Galloway trying to go for it all. Has a receiver out there. Catch is made or out of bounds, they say. Incomplete. I think he caught it, but he was out of bounds.
I can't think of anyone who is just as good their first day on the job as they are a few years later.
All right, maybe so. Joe Blake, you got to give a shout-out to your grandfather because I think he thinks KU is going to upset the Longhorns, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, me and my grandpa are great KU fans, and he's an alumni there, and he's also an alumni at Salina Central where this game is being played.
Awesome. All right, back to pass Galloway. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket and thrown for a loss. Back to the 35 on the loss. Hutchinson came in with the blitz and got Galloway big time.
That was Carter Young, wasn't it?
I think it was Carter Young scooting through there. I'll tell you what, no one was fooled. The run goes nowhere, and he was just swallowed him up right back at about the 36-yard line. 37 is where they'll mark it. So 3rd down and 19. Galloway starts to run with the ball. He's at the 40, cuts upfield to the 45, to the 50, has a sideline to run down, and he goes all the way down to inside of Salt Hawk territory. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 41.
Carter Young came on the blitz again, almost got Galloway, but Galloway rolled out the other direction and had some open room.
Ball at the 41. 1st and 10 South. 2:43 remaining to go in the contest. Hutchinson in full control, 44-21. Hutch is going to win this game and go to 2-5 on the year.
And Hutchinson wants to win it by at least 13 points, by the way.
Back to pass. Galloway steps up. He's at the 40. He's going to take off with the football. Cuts it away. Gets hit straight on at the 28. Falls forward to about the 27-yard line. That'll move the chains for the first down. So 2:35 to go to wind the clock here. As soon as it gets set, they'll move the chains.
Solid open field tackle by Selden Jones.
Galloway is south, spreads his wide out, and trips to the left side. Single wide out to the bottom side. Wants to throw the ball, slings it out there. It's going to be picked off by the Salthawks at the 4-yard line. They'll bring it up court all the way to the 30, and they'll be wrapped and dropped at the 31, A nice pick out there by Hutchinson is coming up with a big play for the Salthawks with Jason Marilossi, and he got his second pick of the day. Moriassi with his second pick of the day. Well, he just sitting back there, Joe, camped right under it, got the pick, and then turned it nicely up all the way to the 32.
The ball was a little bit underthrown by Galloway, and Moriassi was there to make the play, his second pick of the night.
How would you describe how Galloway throws the ball? I call it slinging it. He just kind of slings it out there.
Sling it, and Sammy ball.
He slung it like Dizzy Dean used to say. Boy, am I dating myself there. He slung that ball out there, and it was intercepted by Moriassi.
Yeah, he doesn't come over the top.
Sarah is looking at me like, are you crazy? That's how Dizzy Dean used to talk. He said he slung that fastball in there. Given the right side, positive yardage for Hutchinson all the way close to the first down. Still more. It will be a first down for Hutch. They just pile it forward. Lots of white jerseys out there leading the charge. Good positive running by Hutchinson. Cantu came in and rolled that football right up. You remember Dizzy Dean, Dan?
Absolutely.
Huh? Fantastic pitcher. Great. He and Pee Wee Weiss in the broadcast booth. I used to watch it every Saturday afternoon on CBS Sports. Loved it.
There was a time when you only had one game to choose from, and maybe it was even only one game a week.
It was usually the Yankees. Sometimes it was St. Louis, but not very often.
But you only had 3 networks.
All right, 1st and 10 for Hutch. Give up the middle. Pick up of a yard and a half. Hard yardage for Hutchinson.
Hutchinson's getting pretty close to where they can run out the remainder of the time.
Yeah, actually a little fumble on the snap, but it was recovered. We'll say it stays, maybe a gain on the play. Let's see if exactly where they mark it. They'll mark it right at the 44. So 2nd down and 10.
They can take it down to about 45 seconds before they snap it on this play.
Well, you don't want to cough the football up. Good job by Moriassi. The first pick he had did not turn into a touchdown. This one might have sealed the deal to keep it at 44-21. So Hutchinson turns around, gives it to Cantu. He's got the first down and more. 40 yards, all the way down to the 30. And he gets the first down. 42 seconds left to go on the clock. Quick opener right up the middle, and Cantu will seal this deal out. And I'm not even sure Hutchinson
have to snap it one more time.
They'll have to snap it.
They can go to victory formation if they so desire.
Big quick openers have killed Salina South tonight, both with Duvall and that time Cantu getting it done.
It's been a fun night over at Salina.
We'll run down some other scores if we possibly get them. Derby, a big win over Campus, 54-33. Actually, that's third quarter score, 54-33. Derby over Campus right now.
Campus put up 33 points?
Yeah, 54-13. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the score above, so you're right. And that should do it. Carry forward, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Hutchinson came into Salina Stadium tonight and came out a 44-21 winner. So Hutchinson came in and came away a winner. They run their record to 2-5. Well, Salina goes to 1-6. So the Salthawks victorious tonight from Salina. Again, your final: Hutchinson 44, the Cougars of South 21. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back to give you a medicine shop quick wrap and talk about this win. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Salthawk Sports Network.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking